people, people, people,
People, people, people,
please.
please, please, pay attention.
We are the People's Debate. Today it's January 22nd. The topic is football, playoff football, anything, everything football. And we are live. First things first, before we get this beautiful show started, most important thing that I have to do right now at this moment is thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Without him, I wouldn't be here 100%. I wouldn't be half the man I am right now. He's still working on me. But I have to first, of course, thank and praise his name. Uh, Guys, I'm grateful for you fellas joining me. You didn't have to join me on this Wednesday night. You have better things to do, I'm assuming, or not. If you do, just leave it at don't tell me. But I'm very grateful for you fellas joining me today. I am your host, and I am joined, of course, by the panel that don't really need an introduction. Everybody should know them by now, but just in case to whom it may concern that don't know the fellas, of course, guys, go right ahead.
Alrighty, everybody. The sports mailman is back. I had a little week hiatus. Happy birthday to my daughter. Her birthday was last week. 8 years old. Everybody be appreciative. TikTok is back. The ban was only for less than 24 hours, so we can get our sports content out daily. Appreciate it. Hey, shout out Trump for that, I guess.
Yeah, and it's your boy YT Cody. You know, we're back in TikTok. I need to get back on it now. I was already preparing to departure from there. And, we're back on the show this week. I'm already pre-gaming myself for what happened good this week question from Milton. So I need to start thinking right now for that.
And it's your boy, man of many names. I'll start with my actual name, Jalen. Your boy Jalen. Also, Sheriff West, Pow Pow, Mr. 82%.
AKA, sorry. Go ahead.
Also, Jalen A. Smith. I just want whatever you want to call me at this point. You know what I mean? But yeah, I am also the co-host of Drop the Mic podcast on TikTok. And just like Joe and Cody said, thank God that TikTok is back because a lot of my stuff got started there and got built up there. So I was kind of heartbroken. But I'm glad we're back and I'm glad we're here tonight.
Very, very good. Yes, when TikTok wasn't even banned for, I would say 12 hours. Forget 24. I don't think it was banned for 12. One, I do have a question for you, Jalen, because like you said, you made a huge following. You're doing great things on TikTok. How did it affect you initially?
So initially, I was already getting prepared to like move over to like a different platform already.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just didn't take it seriously enough. So I was, telling people to follow my Twitch, follow my YouTube, and people have been. But then once you think about the algorithm, the amount of people I'm able to reach on TikTok, and then as I have the subs that are subbed to my page, the monthly renewal and everything like that,
right?
Hard to think like, oh man, this really affects me kind of heavy than I thought it would be. You know what I mean? Because you go from having a TikTok live where you range from 12 people to be in your live to like 200 on any given day. The algorithm is just so crazy. But on Twitch, it's like people don't know you, it don't follow you. You're not gonna have many viewers in there. So yeah, it's a very, very big difference.
So I'm assuming the relief was just outstanding relief. At least for the time being, it's here still.
Yeah, but this prompted me to have a backup. Like a backup that I'm posting on consistently and I'm on consistently. So really, really not a backup like a 1A, 1B type situation.
Amen. Okay, fair enough. Everybody that's here right now, thank you. You don't have to be here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, please. You can get all of our handles separate, but the YouTube channel, please subscribe if you have any love in your heart for us. But again, truly, truly thankful for you all being here now, and whoever watches this back, of course, thankful for you too. Frankie, Bills win the Super Bowl. Will Milton jump through a table? So this year, I mean, I truly, truly like Josh Allen, and this is a story that's brewing for Josh Allen. Even if he doesn't get him the MVP, just the narrative that it was to this upcoming year. So I wouldn't be, I really dislike the Bills, and it's mainly because of Frankie and Bills Mafia. But I do root for Josh Allen. Jose, the Puro Pinche Sports host, the TikTok ban has lasted longer than Umar Nurmagomedov did in the cage
sure
with the Undisputed. Well, that was wrong. What do you mean? He lasted all 25 minutes. So, I mean, I guess that's true, but it's not like Marab. I told you, Jose, he wasn't going to finish Umar. That was just a crazy claim. But the better man won, dude. Fair enough. TikTok is only back for a little over 2 months. Be ready if they don't work out a deal. Yeah, I think America, well, Trump just wants America to get like a percentage of it. Is that sound accurate? If any of you guys know?
I think
I don't know the politics. TikTok
right.
politics, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. First things first, of course, again, thankful for you three fellas being here. I have a lot of questions for you. I can't wait to get your insight on what just transpired and what your predictions will be for the championship game. Now, first things first, we didn't have it last week and we missed you, Joe, brother. Go ahead, Sports Mailman, deliver us some news.
Alrighty, so breaking news that happened actually today. Now, former Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn is heading to the New York Jets on a 5-year deal. So he'll be their head coach for the next 5 seasons until 2029, while they're still searching for a GM. So I'm kind of surprised that they hired a head coach before they hired a GM. Usually it's the GM first, then it's the head coach.
Okay, well, with that being said, Joe, I'll give it to you first. How would you grade the acquisition? Because it's the Jets. It's a guy that, I mean, has gotten better defensive play calling wise, but how would you grade it? Let me just ask that.
I feel like this season he's coached the best he's ever coached as a coordinator.
100%.
But the Jets, in my opinion, should not have gone with another defensive-minded head coach. I feel like they should have went offensively. Past couple of times, head coaches that they've had, Saleh, he was a defensive-minded. I think before that, Adam Gase, that's something you don't want to mention. But before that was Rex Ryan, defensive-based. So they've always historically went with the defensive-minded head coaches. So me, in my mind, you're probably, I don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. So I with this move, I think now he's out the door. If not, I think they would have went offensive-minded head coach because they have a lot of pieces around offensively to try to get that offense looking better.
Right.
Defensively, they had a down season. Hopefully he can resurrect it with those names that they got on the defensive side of the ball.
Now, what would you grade it?
I would grade it like a B-. Like he defensively, he was the prize piece. Out of all the coordinators, I just wouldn't have did it as the New York Jets.
Now, from you two fellas, Cody and Jalen, I want a grade first, but an immediate prediction. So, what the acquisition of Aaron Glenn is going to do, positive or negative, for the Jets organization. It could be a player becoming better. It can be the team, whatever the case may be. I don't care how you word it. Just a grade and a prediction. Cody first.
Okay. I graded, I guess, like a B plus, something like that. My initial reaction was kind of the same as Joe, is why you didn't get somebody offensive minded. As far as the Jets improving, I don't really see it. They may reach back to some of what they were on defensive, but they need offensive improvement. That's what we've seen these last few years that they're missing, and they don't even go in that direction. I question it.
Immediate prediction.
Like just as far as what they'll
What is it?
do
Yep.
record
Is
wise.
there not even that? Is there going to be anything different that Aaron Glenn brings to this next upcoming year that's already happened this last year?
No, I
And
don't.
it,
I don't see any different improvement at all. Really,
okay, so
I
that's
just think it's another consistent coach they got, but it's not going to be enough to change anything.
okay. Jalen, same set of questions, brother.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give it a B. Honestly,
Okay.
I don't think. I mean, just from looking at what he did with the over there with the Lions, I mean, if he can get some form of that, even he was playing with a deck of cards that was injured, so what he was able to do with that, I give it a B because the thing is, you get a full healthy defense. He's a defensive minded coach. What he can do with that, so I think I'll stick with a B with that, but immediate impact. Well, what were they this year? Were they fourth in the division?
No,
Like
third,
defensive,
third,
like
third.
ranking, they're really
Okay,
high.
they were third in the division. So
Mhm.
third in the division again next year. I mean,
Okay. So gotcha. So with Aaron Glenn, one, I agree. He's done good for the negativity that's occurred, the stuff he couldn't really prepare himself for. But I will say his stint at Detroit as a defensive coordinator against the pass has always been his downfall. In yards, he's always been bottom 25. This last year, he was 30th in yards, and it was this. And again, that's fair enough on the injury bug that hit him, but it's just I don't even know how to make of it. It's like, okay, well, now this year he's going to be dealing with a good corner group, not a great safety group, which he benefited this last year off of the two safeties that Detroit has. I don't know. I actually rated lower than you guys. I give it a C minus. I don't.
oh,
It's a huge question mark for an organization that, Joe, like you said, offensively it has talent. It's, it's not. They did some things this offseason to get better talent. I think just adding Aaron Glenn, one, I don't even care that it's not an offensive mind, but I think they're keeping Nat Hackett. So I just don't get it. I just don't get it as an organization as a whole. I don't
Yeah,
understand it.
it's just
100%.
the dysfunction that it is the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Agreed. Aaron Glenn enters football purgatory. That's what I
Yep.
guess what yeah, there you go. Jets will be fighting for third place in the AFC East. It all depends on the quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers stays there, but Nat Hackett stays there, I don't see how do they get better. I don't see it. But go ahead, Joe. More.
So some more news, man. So Detroit lost their DC and they also lost their OC. The prize piece, I feel like, of the entire offseason that everybody was chasing, trying to get. Ben Johnson is heading in division, which was kind of surprising to me. But he is going to be the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. So kind of surprising, man, that he stays in the division. Um, I was kind of shocked about this. I would think that Detroit would have tried to block it, but Detroit's I feel like a good organization and letting him go where he wants to go. Hopefully, Caleb Williams continues his progress in year two. Hopefully this offense caters to Caleb Williams. Hopefully so. We'll got to wait and see. But also, surprisingly not, former Saints head coach Dennis Allen will be his DC. It's trickling in like these staffs and whenever these head coaches come in, who they're getting as OCs, DCs, etc.
Yeah. I'll start it off. Grade wise, I give it an A. And don't get me wrong, I could be being hyperbolic. I can be definitely recency bias for sure. Just because Ben Johnson, what he's done on the offense doesn't always equate to a good head coach. That's fair. But him coming in, having that reputation of he is the reason that offense is flowing. The players have to play, don't get me wrong, but he is the orchestrator of the pieces in place to make it all work. Ranked fourth, third, second, first in a lot of offensive categories, especially the run, right? Bringing over Dennis Allen, I don't know if that was his doing or whoever, Ryan Poles, I have no idea. But I think that also fits just because the defense, again, wasn't too much of a problem. And it's the same style of scheme that Eberflus had. A nice base 4-3, same kind of scheme. Just we'll see if it's better or not in that case. But yeah, I give it an A. Now, Jalen, Cody, and Joe, what would you grade it and give me a immediate prediction?
I would give it an A. Just how his offenses look. You know, the Bears on paper, they have a lot of weapons. Now the thing is, he's probably going to one of the toughest divisions in all of football now. So now you got to play the Vikings twice, you got to play the Packers twice, you got to play the Lions twice now. So now it's going to be, can that offense continue to go toe to toe with these offensive teams that were leading the league last season offensively?
What immediate? Give me an immediate. Like, what do you think? This
I'm happy for Caleb Williams that they gave him somebody who's offensively minded, because that's who I thought that they should have went with the year before, like an offensive minded head coach.
right?
So for them to finally give it everything to him, like the full keys to the kingdom in Chicagoland, I feel like that's great, because I'm like, they still have yet to ever have a 4,000-yard passer, and that's crazy to think that that historic franchise has never had a 4,000-yard passer.
All right, same question. But
I would give it a as well. I like that Ben Johnson's coming over, and I think it'll be a good learning part that Caleb Williams could take if he accepts it the right way. And I want to see them incorporate the running in a better way than they have been to take some pressure off of Caleb Williams. But I do question still if Caleb Williams is ready. I don't want to have unfair expectations for Ben Johnson when he comes over if Caleb Williams is still going to make a lot of plays and moves that turned out very bad and killer for their season in offense. So I don't want to think that Ben Johnson is just going to solve every problem. So I would like to say that they're going to improve a little bit as my initial reaction, but I don't know how much, and I'm not going to go ahead and say, oh, they're going to be competing for the playoff, especially in that division.
okay, but you see an improvement more than 5 wins. Say that.
Yes, yeah. I don't know how much. I don't want to overdo it for Ben Johnson.
Right on. Same question, Jalen.
So the grade I want to give it, I'm gonna hold off on it because I just got to see one thing when it comes to the Bears. If he makes the right move in the draft, I'll give it an A. If he doesn't, I'm not gonna grade it.
Right.
Because there's a very simple fix with the Bears. They're not too far off. Caleb Williams is getting everything that a rookie would want coming into the league. He's got weapons left and right. He's fallen to a good defense. Now he gets the offensive coordinator. A head coach that's offensive minded and everything. He has everything at his fucking feet. Sorry about my language. But I'm just gonna wait to see what move he pulls first to give it a grade. So I can't. The name sounds good with the situation. It does. But if they don't fix what needs to be fixed, this is pointless.
Is Jose on your church? Because that's where I'm feeling between Cody and you. One, you're not giving the grade because it depends, and Cody, one, Caleb. Yes, he has to make sure he can reset, be teachable, etc. I think he is. It's just what transpired this season was his offensive line was terrible. So
Right.
I mean, like very, 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 very bad. And see, he didn't do well either sometimes. Don't get me wrong. He made a lot of boneheaded decisions, but I get why when you're under duress the way he was. So Jose says Bears O-line still needs to be fixed. And I think we can all agree to that. Is that where you were alluding to, Jalen?
That's exactly what I'm going. Because if he gets in the draft and, starts getting receivers and D-line and corners, I'm like, well, okay, we're going to watch the same Bears over again. So it's not going to work. So again, the name sounds cool, but if they don't fix what needs to be fixed, then my immediate reaction is going to be you're in the same spot. You're in fourth place in probably the hardest division of football right now.
That's fair, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead. My bad.
No, go ahead, Cody. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, do y'all think that do they have a lot of cap space, first of all? And do y'all think they go after any big free agents?
Me in the draft, it's a really, really good offensive line draft again. I think they have the 9th or the 10th pick. If Banks out of Texas can somehow be there at 10, it's a match made in heaven. I feel like if Caleb is there, I think he should tell the franchise, give me Banks, left tackle. He's going to protect me.
Yeah, because shame on that left tackle that they have. And you said, oh, my quarterback's not going to get touched. and he was kind of played the worst at all of the offensive linemen. He played the worst.
I'm like Darrell Wright I think he's the right tackle. I think he's really solid.
It's okay.
Just another year. I feel like because what the Chargers did, last season wasn't the sexiest thing in the world. They got Joe Alton. Look how more protected Herbert was during the regular season.
Agreed. Now, Jose says Mel Kiper's first mock draft has LSU's offensive tackle Will Campbell with the 10th overall pick. Does that make sense to you, Joe? Because I'm not a college guy.
Yeah, him and Will Campbell to me were like swapped to me.
Okay,
I'm like,
looks like.
But I just feel Kevin Banks is more of an athletic person. You have Quinn Ewers there. He's really just stays in the pocket. He's not as mobile as the quarterback out of LSU. But Mel Kiper or whatever his name is had him at 11 for Banks. So right there.
Just like you said, they're switchable. But go ahead, Joe.
Moving on, man. The guy who I thought was going to be your OC, and I told y'all he rears his ugly head back in New England. Josh McDaniels is back as the OC for Mike Vrabel. I'm kind of surprised. It just seems like he's that ex that just can't seem to go away, and he somehow finds his way back in the facility.
Yeah, but as a Patriot fan, I'll wait. But what do y'all guys think about it?
I have no comment on that one.
Yeah, I feel like it's a C minus because him as a coordinator, man, is great. It's just who are going to be the skill players around that, because you're only as good as a coordinator as the players you have. Because you can be a good guy, you can scheme up plays, X's and O's, have everybody like, oh, I'm going to have this guy wide open 20 yards down the field. But if you can't make no separation or can't have nobody block, then what good is that?
Anything y'all want to add before I? Okay. When y'all say y'all don't have nothing to say, I'm taking this very disrespectfully right now. So, what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Like, I don't know. I don't know enough to speak on it, and I don't want to sound ignorant. I could put something together real nice and make it sound good, but that I get in my car salesman bag real quick.
Right on. I appreciate you not. I appreciate it. Now,
sell you a pot of beans with gold.
I'll say Josh McDaniel as an OC. Some people are throwing red flags and all this. He's been a good OC for us. I'm confused. With Mac Jones, don't get me wrong. The AFC Pro Bowl the year that Mac Jones made it's an asterisk because a lot of guys just didn't want to go and do it. Hence why him and Huntley were in the Pro Bowl. But he had a good statistical year. You know what I mean? So I think, like you said, Joe, we have a lot of cap space. So if we utilize that, which I think we will, 100%, we better. I think we're going to be that much better on offense. Our defense is going to be fine, in my opinion, unless something crazy hits the fan. But yeah, I actually would grade it a B+. It's familiarity, yes, and it's not sexy for sure because it's Josh McDaniel. Like I said, it's like the X that just doesn't go away. But he's established. He knows what to do as an OC, as a head coach. We don't have to talk about it. As an OC, he's fine. He's established. His methods work. His screen game is almost flawless with a good offensive line. Yeah, I'm happy. I thought I'd just say that. Better than Van Pelt. I freaking hated that guy, dude. Oh God! When we got him, Joe, I don't know if you remember, but I was not happy. Van Pelt. But Josh McDaniels is a good OC, even the years with Cam and Mac at the helm. But he has to rebuild his reputation after the poor head coach, of course. But he's not going to have a big say-so like he does as a head coach. He's not. Vrabel's not going. Vrabel. He's the alpha. He's not going to. I'm pretty sure they had a conversation before they went through with having Josh McDaniel as the offensive coordinator. Rather have Josh McDaniel as my OC than Nathaniel Hackett. Amen to that.
Oh, for sure.
And Chi-Town, shout out to you, Alex. Chi-Town. Pats will get a late round running back. I'll take it. I think Stevenson's fine. It's just our offensive line made him look even worse. He's not. I know Cody hates him, but just don't pick him up in fantasy this upcoming year.
Right. Yeah, no, but moving on, man. So the Jaguars are without a head coach currently right now. And now they're actually without a GM. Shad Khan, the owner of the Jaguars, let go of Trent Baalke as their GM. So now they are head coachless and now GM-less. And it is just dysfunctional this late in the head coaching search and GM search to, be without a captain or a leader of the ship.
Now this move, I have a lot to say just because I don't know. All of you were on the panel, I believe. I said when Doug Peterson got fired, I didn't understand how the GM is still there because he has absolutely no success in the San Francisco stint, et cetera, et cetera. He's had bad stints other than his first couple of years as a GM in San Francisco, right? And now, yes, this reeks of dysfunction because this is a definitely, I'm just assuming, I don't know this, but Ben Johnson said, I'm not doing nothing over there. Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, took his name out of the bout. I'm assuming they didn't want to work with a GM like that. That's a sitting duck, in my opinion, and or just not good to work with, or both. And now their hands are tied and dysfunction. They just get rid of him when you could have possibly had some interviews with good GMs, or you possibly could have had more interviews or a bigger possibility with another head coach, a good head coach. I don't know what Shad Khan's doing, dude. But I'm not even going to grade this, but what do y'all guys feel about it other than that?
I just feel like it's dysfunction. Like I feel like firing him this late was horrible. I just think that if you're gonna fire him, you need to fire him at the beginning, like right when the regular season is over. Now a lot of these premier coordinators are leaving. Now it's almost looking like you're gonna have a retread head coach now, and I don't know if Jacksonville needs that. I feel like they need to get a head coach, that's willing to grow with this franchise because it's almost to the point now in Jacksonville where it's gonna have to be torn down yet again.
It's going to be bad if that happens. Do you have any thoughts, Cody, since this is a division rival? Mute. Still mute.
Well, I'll say this.
There you go.
Jackson sucks.
Hey, he's on. Hey, you said that last year. You're right.
That's my input on it. Jacksonville sucks.
We started when we did. Do you remember when we had the predictions? That's all you kept saying.
Yeah, because I still believe it. They suck. We don't need to spend a lot of good time on
right,
Jacksonville ever.
You're right.
No, yeah, it was just surprising to me that you fire a GM that's been horrible. Majority of the picks that he's had, your first pick, Trayvon Walker, these other guys that they picked is just
they had
dumb.
Aiden Hutchinson right there in their fingertips.
Yeah.
They picked Trayvon Walker, but yes, the fastest 40 time of any DN.
Yeah, like we could have been better GMs in Jacksonville than him.
Yeah, that guy sucks. You're right. You're right, Jalen. Let's move on. Let's get out of this. Let's get out of Jacksonville right now.
So because of this, I don't know if this was because, but what Milton had just said, the Bucks' OC Liam Cohen decided to take his name out of the hat for Jacksonville because it was almost looking like he was going to be their next head coach. Maybe he said, you know what, I kind of like it here in Tampa. It's not that far, and I actually win as the OC, and he's getting a big-time hefty pay raise to stay this upcoming season. So hopefully he does good yet again, and he could look at next season to see what head coaching vacancies are open next year.
I agree with the move for Liam Cohen. It's like get another year under. You had by far Baker's best year. Yeah,
Right.
Just keep going. You're just going to add to the value you provide as a head coach. So, go ahead.
Now, moving on, the Titans actually hired their GM. He was an assistant out of the Kansas City realm, Mike Bogazagi. I can't even know how to pronounce that right.
Pretty close.
But he is actually came out and said that he's opening to trading the number one pick. I'm like, they need a quarterback, yes, but it's a weak quarterback draft, so I would think you get more assets and try to, come around and see what quarterbacks possibly can be. Maybe Sam Darnold, Tennessee, maybe Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what they're gonna go.
No thoughts on that one for me. Yes.
Yeah.
I feel the same way that Jalen feels about Jacksonville. I feel about Tennessee. You guys suck.
I actually like Tennessee, man. Their defense and then their skill players. I feel like they just need a quarterback, and I feel like they're on and running.
Yeah, Tennessee's not. They're like a little bit above Jacksonville. Like their defense is good. I'll give it that.
Yes.
Everything else sucks.
I mean, Is Tennessee a real football team anymore? What jerseys they be wearing? Like
Oh my
who are they
Here
anymore?
it is.
That's
They're like
crazy.
a fraud franchise, like
That's crazy.
they have identity issues. They don't know what gender they are.
Bro,
All
that
right.
canceled.
Hey,
All right.
according to our president, we only recognize 2 now. So
Right.
Amen. All right. All right, guys. Go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So moving on, man. The Raiders hired their new GM is a Bucks assistant, John Spite, as their new GM. I'm like the way he's been running Tampa. Hopefully, he can get the Raiders back on track. Hopefully, Tom Brady finds a head coach because he's a part of that head coaching search. So let's see what the Raiders do moving forward.
Yeah. Las Vegas was this close on getting Ben Johnson. I'm assuming because of Tom Brady, of course, not because of
Yeah. Well,
not
that's
'cause
why.
of the Raiders. But
Yeah, that's why supposedly he couldn't even mention him on the telecast whenever Tom Brady was speaking.
yeah.
So it's interesting to see what some of these teams do going forward because now there are only 4 head coaching jobs left now because of this. The Saints, the Jaguars, the Raiders, and my Cowboys, man. The last bit of news I want to mention. What are we doing as the next head coach, man? Does Jerry Jones think we're stupid or something? Like, I do not understand this. Brian Schottenheimer, why is he even being interviewed as a head coach? Not once, but twice. 2 interviews already. Little Kellen Moore, you had him here. You let him get out of the building, let him go. I'm like, let me be the head coach. Shit, man. I'm like, Jason Witten, are we serious? I'm like, Jerry, stop doing this to us. Get a legit head coach. Step back. You can pick the players. You know how to do that. But let somebody coach the team and just, you're 82 years old. You don't have that many years left. Please, Jerry, please.
I think he has dementia.
Cody.
Dementia, Jerry.
Yeah.
I have really something to say about this. Not
Do it.
just
Do
being
it.
out-
No,
So-
please, because I'm wearing very thin being a Cowboys fan, man. It's just like,
I got an Eagle shirt ready. I'll send it to you right now, bro.
Don't do it.
nah,
do it.
till the wheels fall off, man. It seems like the wheels are
They're
falling
falling
off.
off. They're falling off. Go
But-
ahead, Jalen.
My thing is what I'm looking at for real, and I think a lot of Cowboys fans should be looking at this. So not only do you have the Commanders and the Eagles in the NFC Championship, but coaching wise, you have Dan Quinn
Mhm.
on the Commanders, you have Kellen Moore on the Eagles.
Over there in house.
Both came from the Cowboys. So, but my thing is, you have to really take a look at this. Jerry Jones, obviously, at this point, you can't point the finger at nowhere else but Jerry Jones. Obviously, he's caused too much of an issue where why would these coaches go to a different organization with a rookie quarterback and have immediate success? And why does Kellen Moore go to an offense that was it's not. It helps Kellen Moore that he has Saquon.
Yeah.
It does help a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
But I will say this. The play calling has looked smoother than last year. I'm not saying it. I'm not looking at stats. I'm just saying from as me as a fan just watching the offense being run. Because last year it looked like we had 2 plays. And now it looks a little bit more fluid is what I'm saying now. You can see a little bit from Kellen Moore. But that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, damn, you got to watch Dan Quinn, Kellen Moore, Eagles, Commanders in the NFC Championship, both coming from the Cowboys. As a fan, I know that just sucks.
No, yeah, for sure. Like Kellen Moore, though, when he was here as the OC, it just looked like we were stuck in the mud half the time. I don't know if that's Dak. I don't know if it was the offense, the play calls, or what.
I think it's showing that all Kellen Moore needed was a true number 1 running back. That's all it's showing. Because y'all had a good offensive line when Kellen Moore was there. Yeah. You just get a real good running back like Saquon. It doesn't even have to be Saquon. Just a guy 70% of Saquon.
Yeah. Like I feel like Dan Quinn should have been our head coach the year before. Like whenever we lost that playoff game to the Packers, I thought they should have packed his bags and sent him packing and let him take over as the head coach. I was screaming from the heavens for it, but Jerry doesn't listen to me.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. I gotta say, this. Yeah, it's kind of rough. It's rough being a Cowboy fan. Honestly, you don't specifically, but all you other Cowboy fans that I've ever interacted with, you kind of deserve it. Just thought I'd put that out.
Yeah, it just seems like I'm on the ground and I'm getting kicked.
Yeah.
And then now like a snowplow just comes out like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, brother.
Nah, but that was my little rant, man. It's just
Good.
like
Good.
I would
for
much rather have Deion Sanders at this point.
Of course. Mike McCarthy to the Saints, Kellen Moore to the Cowboys, Pete Carroll to the Raiders, Joe Brady to the Jaguars. Let's talk about it. Mike McCarthy to the Saints. I said last week or the week prior, I don't think that's bad. I think that would be good for a guy that wants to prove it in Mike McCarthy and a guy that wants to prove it in Derek Carr. If they stick that route, I think that'll be good. Kellen Moore to the Cowboys. We'll see. I don't know. Kellen Moore as a head coach, I just can't even see that. Pete Carroll to the Raiders. That'll be good for all the young talent that they have. Joe Brady to the Jaguars. That's a very, very, that makes a lot of sense. Joe Brady to the Jaguars.
I would much rather see Joe Brady with the Raiders and let him make that offense out there. You know, the Jaguars, I don't want Joe Brady getting, taken
right
out.
on. Yeah, right on. But at least it depends on what they do with the GM situation.
Yeah.
But Joe Brady with the quarterback like that, yeah, that would benefit Trevor Lawrence for sure. That's what happens when you're a fan of the Brokeback Cowboys.
Keep Joe Brady out the AFC South.
Fair enough. Right on. Yeah, you're doing
Send him
good.
to the Panthers or something.
Yeah, right on.
Well, he was already there at the Panthers.
Yeah, he had a bad stint at the Carolinas.
Right, time to go back. You got a stud.
Right on. All right, let's talk about what has transpired this last week. Divisional round talk. Now, let's get out the way. Cody. Let's talk about it, Cody.
No, man.
Let's do it. So, the Chiefs beat the Houston Texans. There you go. Houston
14-23.
Yeah, 23-14. Kansas City wins. Now, as a whole, we'll talk about everything else, but I want to hear everything you have to say, Cody. Your word means a lot right now. Go ahead, please talk to us.
It doesn't mean a lot, but we'll say this. This was rough to watch. I take losing. I'll take losing a buzzer beater, whatever. I'll take losing by Sam Darnold's missed face mask, or that was Jared Goff, right? Or one of those. Sam Darnold.
No, it's Sam Darnold. In the regular season,
yeah. I'll take losing by that over just like getting taken out the game mid game when you clearly have momentum. And I get people defend the Chiefs and with the I can easily rebuke because they have one of the lowest amount of penalties and all that. But it's not about how many penalties; it's about when the penalties are. Right? It's big, and that's what swings games. So it was a big swing. And it does feel like the refs did carry them past us basically because we look like we were stopping everything they were coming with the whole game. So and then they don't get big plays till after the penalty.
Except who you could not stop.
Right, but after the penalty. He was stopped.
It was after
penalty.
every time. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Good point.
But he was wide open. I don't understand why he was wide open.
I mean, you did because your heart ripped out. Like, what the fuck? You just stopped the Kansas City Chiefs 5 times in a row, and the refs give them 2 first downs and 10 points out there? Come on. That's deflating. Like, some players' balls.
Stop. I knew it.
Watching this game, it almost made me feel like you're watching a boxing match. And you're the underdog, and what do you got to do against the champion? You got to knock him out.
Yeah.
And you did not do that. I'm like, you had opportunities to continue to throw jabs. Kai Fairbairn, I guess he forgot how to kick in Houston.
Yeah. It's rough.
You can't kick it out the dome. That's what it is.
So I think he missed 2 kicks for sure. So that's 6 points right there. Then they're going for it on 4th down. There was questionable play calling. Bobby Slowick didn't have his best play call game. But it's just showing, unfortunately, you didn't have all your chambers in your gun for this game. No Tank Dell, no Stephon Diggs. So it's kind of like you need to keep going, and you just couldn't get over the hump. That offensive line wore down at the end too.
Yeah. If Joe Brady waits, he can be Joe Burrow's head coach for since. I think that's the best for him because honestly, I mean, Zach Taylor got to go. And now Jalen's Eagles lives on. Pow, pow. All right. Right on. The Chiefs are just misspelling of cheats. That's funny. All right, let's talk about it. Now, Cody, of course, you can input. This is your team that, unfortunately, I was the guy that's been saying, and I also said in the comments on the Puro Pinche Sports podcast that it's easy to refute that the one claim. It depends how you word it. You worded it perfectly when they're just saying throughout the whole couple of years the Chiefs have had the refs and this and this and this. It's like, well, no, you gotta know they haven't. So you worded it perfectly. In key moments, especially in the playoffs, this is true. I 100% agree. I just don't like the first part where they just say all season this is what happens. Like when they'll have they're let's say 14-3, 15-2. All these wins are from the refs. No, I totally disagree. The other team normally loses the game. The Chiefs don't beat themselves. That kind of thing. Now in the playoffs, I 1000% agree. And this game couldn't be more blatant. It was unfortunate to watch, dude. Because yes, it was kind of funny that Houston only scored 14 and they lost. But the way they lost, I kind of felt for you, brother. I got to tell you, that was wrong. They shouldn't have. If they're going to lose, they're going to lose. But the refs doing what they did, as soft as they were calling it, that's just rough, dude. How do y'all feel about the ref situation in Kansas City, guys? Please.
I feel like moving forward, they need to be able to challenge the roughing the passer penalties because unfortunately you can't challenge that. But that's probably going to open up Pandora's box if they allow that. But they need to allow that because it's such of a bang plays, and Pat Mahomes, with that offensive line gets tore up more often than not now. And they need to be able to look at it because that one roughing the passer, the two Texans teammates hit each other. It wasn't even like they really hit Pat Mahomes and they caught it. But whenever you first look at it, like me, I watched it live and I'm like, oh, roughing the passer. But then when they replay it, then they slowed it down. Like, oh, it's not. They hit each other.
I thought the first one was close. Like the Will Anderson, that one was close because I was like, oh, man, it was helmet to helmet easily. And then they slowed it down and it was just like chest to chest. The one where the two guys hit Mahomes. Mahomes was a runner. He's juking people. He's doing all that.
The latest slide.
You're playing with the rules at that point. Go ahead, Cody. It looked like you were about to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say, did y'all notice on the first one when Will Anderson's head hit his chest and they called that they gave him the first down and then the ref started talking and almost stopped and almost pulled it back. But they were reluctant. I don't know for what reason. I'm guessing because the Chiefs. It seems like, I'm not saying it's rigged, but damn it, it looked like somebody had a favorite player out there or something. You know what I mean? That's all I gotta say. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like again, I'm against conspiracy theorists, but you just those kind of plays, those kind of calls, and like you said, they were in discussion on doing something about it, and they don't.
Yeah, they wanted to.
Proves their point. I'm not mad at it anyway. Not with the Chiefs. Jalen, before we move on, anything with the Chiefs situation, because if this keeps on going and the should-be winner of the NFC plays, even though it's going to be in a neutral playing zone, you got to play these guys possibly. So how do you feel about the whole Chiefs situation?
Let me do something I haven't done all season. The Texans got robbed here.
All right.
They showed up and played a really good game. I was honestly, that defense, bro. If y'all roll that defense into next year and fix that O-line, hey, AFC favorites. I'm gonna say it right now. AFC favorites. I got the Texans. I'm gonna say it right now because watching that
Breaking
game,
news.
I'm watching that game and I'm like, dog, the Texans are not far away. Even though the way they were competing with the Chiefs. Now I will say this: I don't want to watch another Chiefs game this year. Like I hope the Bills pack them up because what I watched on Saturday or Sunday, whatever the game was, it was not football. I've never seen in my life. First of all, these rules are already watered down for the quarterback that you can't touch the quarterback at all. Right. I was so nervous when Jalen Carter picked up Matthew Stafford that they were going to throw him out the game. I really was. I was like, oh, shit, because he picked him up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, shit, they probably about to kick his ass out or something. So I'm watching Pat Mahomes run to the sideline, slow up, and the Texans player, want to make sure, hey, bro, get out of bounds. This is football. I can't touch you. You can touch him.
Yeah, right.
All I did was little shove out of bounds. Make sure. And Pat Mahomes.
You saw him flop. He saw the flop.
That was bad,
dude. The biggest flop I've ever seen in football, bro. And then and I don't like it because now if you even go back and listen to, I think it was Troy Aikman, the announcer.
Yeah, he was
I've
pissed.
never heard an announcer get so agitated and so and like he was upset. He was like, pretty much, he didn't say it, but he's like, okay, that's enough. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
you could hear it in his demeanor. It's
yeah,
like, oh, come on,
yeah.
come
yeah,
on.
like he's tired of it. Like we all are tired of it. That's not football at this point. It's not fun. You're really taking away from the sport. And as I'm watching the game, I was like, I don't want to watch this game. I don't want to watch the Chiefs play no more because again, I got to a point where I was really, really, really pulling for the Texans, and whatever Cody was gonna come in here and say, "Oh, y'all were all wrong," I was ready for. I was gonna let him have it too because honestly, I got a little bit more respect for the Texans in that game because I'm watching what the Chiefs are doing with Patrick Mahomes, and I'm like, this is nasty work, man. Like I've never seen a quarterback literally slow up on purpose to where he can get hit to try to get roughing the passer penalty. I'm like, bro, if you're gonna do that, bro, like if quarterbacks do that, they should throw a flag on the quarterback.
I agree.
Like
you can't lie. You can't lie. Y'all thought he was gonna get the call after the flop, right? I thought he was. I thought he was.
Yo,
get it. I was like,
I was legit agitated. Said, yo, if y'all do this, I swear, God, I swear. Jose, real quick, he's definitely pivoting the right way. Crazy to think that the refs, Chiefs lovers theory started with the Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl. We're circling back to that rematch. I remember that there was some weird calls that kept them in that little drive and ended the game. So, yeah, the Chiefs. I mean, I'm actually kind of happy that this is happening, not because of the Texans, not because of what might happen this year or in years past, but the Patriots. We kept getting called cheaters, and I kept getting tired of it because some calls went our way. Sure, some calls didn't go our way. I would watch every single Patriot game, and I couldn't understand why we were labeled as cheaters. Other than Spygate, that's fair. That was Bill Belichick doing his thing. But if you're not cheating, you ain't trying. At least that way. That's respectful cheating. It's like we're not just out here, paying the refs off kind of thing. But now the Chiefs are. It's just a blatant, and it's as a quarterback, yes, you're not a linebacker or a fullback or anything like that. But the way that Mahomes is carrying himself and flopping and all these other things, I'll just say this. Brady would never. Since Mahomes is some of y'all's GOAT.
I might have to reconsider that after a while. I might have to reconsider
that. My thing is, do y'all think that whole flopping thing that he's doing, since Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league still, that a lot of people, coming out going to be inspired by him, and are they going to start copying that? Is that going to be a thing in the league now?
Well, there's moments Josh Allen flops. There's a moment Josh Allen's big self. Don't get me wrong, he doesn't do it as often, but he will. If there's a little scurry going on, and one of those guys touch him after the play, he will flop. So
I think that had to be the worst flop though in NFL history.
Oh, dude.
No, well,
maybe,
there's at least 2-3 times a game where you see a player trying to like flop to get a call. So it's just,
offensive lineman, defensive lineman.
The lineman,
yeah, but those
are funny.
Crazy.
Yeah, those are funny. Yeah.
Let's see. Tom Brady would have been fined as an owner and broadcaster had he not done what Troy Aikman did. Do we need more broadcasters like Troy?
No, we don't need Troy Aikman. We don't.
I mean, it was, to be honest, as far as playoff games that I can remember. That had to have been one of the worst refed ones I've ever seen. Just overall.
The stat that came out whenever it was announced that ref was reffing this game, the Chiefs record, I think the Chiefs are undefeated.
Yeah.
See, one, I don't like those kind of things, though.
That's crazy that the NFL is allowing this to happen like this.
It's Scott Foster type thing.
Well, it's crazy because like Scott Foster with CP3 it's like they're gonna whoever
CP3 is like 0-28 or something when Scott Foster refs.
It's just crazy, bro.
Yeah, but yeah,
I'm like Jalen's gonna start looking at who's repping the game to make his picks now.
Nah, for real.
Yeah, and that's a shame that we even having a conversation like this. But NFL, yeah, that's unfortunate.
7-0.
Yeah, let me put that on. Brother AC Slaughter.
He's coming in clutch today.
All right, so let us. I know I just wanted to get that one out the way. Let us talk about Jalen. Let's
Yep.
talk about the Rams losing 22-28. It got a little hot at the end. Now, with this game, the rightful winner won. Saquon, like I said in the prediction, the preview, Saquon had his, and now this is a fact, he had his best 2 games rushing against the Los Angeles Rams in the playoffs and the Los Angeles Rams in the regular season.
Correct.
So that came to fruition, and it was just nice and bright to see. When you watch this game, tell me what you were feeling in the moment. How do you break the game down? Talk to me.
So the 2 teams, I said that, I don't know if we got it from the playoffs first started, but I said the 2 teams I don't want to play. One is the Rams, 2 is the Commanders. I said the Rams because I don't like the quarterback and coach Super Bowl duo. I never want to see it in the playoffs, and I don't want to play a division game in the playoffs. So the fact that we have to do both, that sucks.
Yeah, that's cool.
So my initial feel for the game, though, I go into this game thinking, first of all, it was going to snow already. Like, I thought it was going to snow before the game even started, but it didn't. So I felt like the offense finally kept up a good pace in the first quarter.
Right.
We didn't just run up the score, but we didn't have 0 on the board. So I thought that was a great start that we had. I think we want to say like 7-13 at the end of the first. I can't remember off the top of my head. So that was good. The fact, I don't care. We scored in the first quarter, so that was good enough for me. Quinyon Mitchell, he went down during the game, and that was unfortunate. But Isaiah Rodgers stepped up a lot, so that was good there. Where I'm starting to get maybe a little weary. I'm not trying to hop on the media hype train of Jalen Hurts doesn't throw the ball, blah, 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 blah. I'm not trying to get on that. But I do fall into this mindset if there is certain situations where we need him to put the ball in the air, and I just don't know where his confidence level is when it comes to making those plays happen. That's it. Like, I know Jalen Hurts can throw the ball. He has a receiver that has over 1,000 yards that played like 12 or 13 games of the regular season. Obviously, he can throw the ball. I'm not worried about none of that nonsense. It's just as we're getting closer and closer to this Super Bowl, it's like, maybe, and it's hard to say because Saquon does look unstoppable right now. But if we get to a scenario where we need him to make a play with his arm, just that 3rd and 8, you know what I mean? Where they got the running lanes filled, you can't scramble. They got you contained. Can you sit in that pocket and make that pass? That's all I'm getting concerned about. I think defense was phenomenal. I mean, they've been carrying us the whole season. I said from the jump, from the Green Bay game, when I watched that game, even on that whack field that they played on, I said the defense looked fast. And that still holds to today. They look fast out there. Jalen Carter, good Lord.
Yeah, he's a beast, man.
Oh, my gosh, bro. Again, not Aaron Donald-esque, but he will be, like, underneath Aaron Donald-esque. You know what I mean? He's not Aaron Donald, but he's closer to Aaron Donald than he is to the ground, is what I'm saying. Like, he makes plays when you least expect him to. Like, it's a blessing that we have Jalen Carter. So no one on the defense really concerns me. I hope A.J. Brown can just keep his head in the game. And to me, I love the fact that he's has a self-help book on the sideline. I don't have a problem with that. Listen, I'd rather him being in the media with a self-help book than him screaming and yelling at him arguing with Jalen Hurts on the sideline.
Amen.
So
hey, that's progress. I agree. I'm with you.
Some people got a problem with it. Like, I don't have an issue with it at all. But again, just small, minute things. Like, again, can Jalen Hurts make the clutch plays if, let's say, we're at a 3rd and 8 and we're in a pass type situation. But the game overall, very good game. We took a 2-score lead. I did not like when we took a 2-score lead that the Rams came down and scored in like 35 seconds, like a minute. I said
that was sketchy.
Yeah, bro. So my thing is, and I need y'all to hear me out. When the Eagles have a chance to step on the opponent's throat, they don't do it ever.
No.
When they have that prime opportunity, they make the game harder than what they need to. And that was an example of what I've been saying all season. When Saquon busts that run, we go up by 13, 14 points, and then a minute later, we're right back in the same scenario.
Yeah.
Like, dog, we didn't even try to hold we didn't even do anything.
Yeah, I wonder why Vic changed the game. I don't know. I also was confused on how they were playing so well. And I'm not going to say, Matt Stafford and company didn't have, they had their P's and Q's, and Sean McVay called up something nice. I bet all that is true, but just didn't make sense you made the game kind of harder than it should have been at
Right.
the end.
So, yeah, that's my whole takeaway from it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I second all of that. When it comes to Jalen Hurts, when you say perfectly, like, you have concerns, is it because he's not really doing it this year, or because you're scared of when he was throwing the ball 40 plus times, there was, he did have a tendency to turn the ball over?
No, it's just my concern really comes from, okay, when we played the Commanders last, he got knocked out of that game.
Yeah.
Since he's been back, he hasn't really been in a situation where he needs to do it. That's what I'm saying. Like Green Bay, when he came back against Saquon, this game, Saquon. I haven't seen Jalen Hurts throw like an intermediate 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 pass in like a month. So that's what I'm saying. That's my only concern. I know he can throw the ball. I just want to see him with those plays come up where Saquon's not taking it to the house every time. That's my only concern right there. Is just can the time rest with it, the timing, because he hasn't been utilizing the receivers the past 2 weeks. We don't need to.
Yeah.
So the utilization of the receivers have been very low. I mean, AJ Brown 1 catch for 10 yards against Green Bay. I think he had 2 catches, but he also had drop passes. So
I was gonna say, man,
yeah, he should have had a touchdown and everything. So that was on him. But I guess that's my only concern, really.
Gotcha. Okay. Jose, MVP Saquon Barkley struck again. Pow pow. Yeah. The only L Philly took this week is that mayor of Philadelphia couldn't even spell Eagles. That was crazy.
Yeah,
that was bad.
That was really crazy. Oh gosh.
That was
if you don't know football, it's okay. Well, it's not even about knowing football. It's a
You're a fucking mayor, bro.
It's just
I want to know the literacy rates in Philly, because that's a bad representation.
It's probably bad. It's probably really bad.
I thought mayor was like something hard to get. Like, let me find out,
No.
All right, fellas. Well, let us move on to let's do this one, because I got a good question for it. The Washington Commanders upsetting the number 1 15-2 Detroit Lions 45-31. One of my pregame explanations for this game, for trying to play devil's advocate at the time, because everybody's against, and I was still against Washington winning, is if Jaden Daniels has a better passing game than he even did in the game against Tampa Bay, and also if Jared Goff is the guy going back and forth with Jaden Daniels. And it happened. Now, why it happened, I don't know, because they couldn't stop Gibbs, but yet they stopped running the ball. But kudos to Washington, because they kept going up multiple scores, where now they feel like they have to, they have to score quickly. They can't just do the slow pace run kind of game. Now, I think here we go. Let's do it. I'm glad you showed up, Valdez family. How about we all just give an apology, just be respectful here. I'll start it off. Valdez family, you all been Commander fans for as long as y'all been members of the show, and I was wrong about your entire season. I had you winning 6 games, so I was wrong on that. 2, I was wrong that you would lose to Tampa Bay, and you didn't lose to Tampa Bay. And 3, I was almost certain that you were going to lose to Detroit, and yet you beat them by 2 scores. So, Valdez family, I was wrong, and I'm sorry. Anybody else want to be a big man? Huh?
No,
I
yeah.
had the Commanders winning.
Yeah, you did. True enough. Go ahead.
No, he's a family friend of mine, man. So he texted me, he'll text me about how do I think they would fare in this game. And what I said was that they need to start early and try to get before the Lions get the avalanche punch, what they try to do throughout this whole season. And they have to limit the big time plays. Other than that Jameson Williams play, their offense was kind of at bay. Jared Goff went back to his throwback Rams days, and he threw 3 picks. And, that pick 6, I feel like was kind of telling of how this game was going to be. And I was kind of surprised that Jaden Daniels was looking like the veteran and Jared Goff was looking like the rookie, man. It was just crazy to me that it looked like it was swapped. And Jaden Daniels coming out party 350 total yards. That's crazy. And Jared Goff, maybe
guy.
had closed the Detroit Lions Super Bowl window possibly.
Yeah, Scruffy McMuffin is back, and he has no remorse, no apologies given. Come on, dude. They beat Detroit, and they beat them kind of handedly. Go
No,
ahead,
they
Jalen.
did.
Let's talk about it, dude. Come on.
I'm going to say this. I'm not apologizing, and here's why.
Come on.
No, but no, I have a legit reason why I'm not apologizing.
Go ahead.
Well, they play them this week. That's why.
No, not even that because they play. It's not that. Is on record. I have the only proof. I had more faith than any other Commanders fan on their season this year. Me saying that they were going to make a leap and make a jump to finish second in our division.
But you didn't have them in the playoffs.
Listen. I gave enough credit where credit's due. I have more faith in getting them second in the NFC East. I'm done. I can say whatever I want to about this team at this point.
Boom.
Like I don't need to apologize. I have more faith in Commanders fans than they did in their own team. None of them had them winning 10 games this year. I did. So I don't need to apologize. I'm good. I can say whatever I want at this point.
I like it. Okay. Well, I respect it just because you're playing them. So now, there's a little there. Now, if they beat Philly, let me tell you something, Jalen. That's going to be, I don't even know what you're going to do.
That's going to be history.
I don't see. Here's the thing. I don't have beef with Commanders fans. Like, I've never had a problem. They honestly, in my lifetime, they've never been that relevant to me to really have beef, like a rivalry.
Nice
I only don't like
compliment.
I'm being honest. Like, I only have beef with the Cowboys. Like, I don't like the Cowboys. Like, everyone knows that. But the
y'all and the Commanders have the same amount of Super Bowls, right?
I don't know. Shit, do they have?
Well, no, they have like 2 or 3.
Commanders,
they got more than you.
I don't know. They haven't been to the NFC Championship since I've been born. So, welcome. I'm just being like, I'm not trying to talk that. This is all facts. Since I've been born, I don't think they've been to an NFC Championship game. So, welcome. Let's have a good game on Sunday. But that's about it. That's all I gotta say to Commanders. I don't have no beef with them. Like, I don't.
Yeah, it's crazy that since the last time they went to the NFC Championship game, every team has made the NFC Championship game back except for my Cowboys. So now they were the last
team. America's team, everybody. This is crazy. Yeah, please. What's going on?
It was just funny. Like some of my other friends in this group chat we have, it was kind of crazy to see like that picture. Like, oh, if somehow always comes back to the Cowboys, I'm like, we're not even in the playoffs. We're doing horrible, and somehow it's like a graphic of the Cowboys.
I think it's now just letting Cowboys fans know, hey, before this next season starts, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear this is your year. Oh, there's this move. Doesn't it make sense? No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
I seen a graph that said Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels were born, went to high school.
Here we go.
I already know.
Played college football, got drafted,
won a Heisman,
made it to the NFC Championship before the Cowboys did.
That ain't right.
And we're not talking about like before Dak did. We're talking about before a whole organization.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just crazy, you know.
That's rough. The Houston Texas, since being a franchise, has more playoff wins, I believe, than the Cowboys.
That's true.
Jaden has more than that.
We don't have an AFC Championship game.
It's okay. Hey, you have an excuse. Y'all are new. Y'all are new. You know what I mean? So it's all right. It's all right. Okay. Well, since we're talking about this, let me ask you fellas, and of course, the starting lineup, same way. Is Jaden Daniels his rookie season the best quarterback rookie season of all time? Question mark.
That's really tough to get to this point as a rookie. The way he's kind of led this team to resurgence, I feel like he's possibly had the best rookie campaign of all time. There's other quarterbacks that got in their team to the conference championship game, but they weren't like a leader. They weren't like the focal point of their offense. And I feel like he has become that leader that Washington has so desperately needed. They thought they had it in RG3. Fortunately, injuries were the best of him. And now he is, doing what, he was supposed to do. Former Heisman Trophy winner. Now he's taking over the league, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of RG3, they're very similar in stats. But yes, that injury that happened in the playoffs was kind of wild. But same question as far as everybody that's in the comments: is this the best rookie quarterback season in NFL history? But Cody, talk to me.
I don't know if I can quite give it that. If he goes to a Super Bowl, I think I have to give him that. But it's close, but it's also justifiable. If your decision is, yeah, I think it's a fair argument. I think you have a fair debate. There's probably like good 5 or 6 guys, but I mean his season is definitely in that talk. So
Okay. Jalen, what you think?
Um, I mean, it's only between him and Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert didn't get to the.
Yeah, they had a losing record, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I got to give it to Jaden Daniels, man. I think this is the best rookie season we've ever witnessed.
I'm glad you actually said that because a lot of people forget Justin Herbert's rookie year. Once they purposely injured Tyrod Taylor and then he came up, it was unfortunate for the
rib.
win. Go ahead. Yeah, the
No,
rib
the-
thing. Rib gate. But it was unfortunate with the way that rookie season panned out because the first out of 8 his first 8 starts, he lost 7 of them, and they were by once possession games. So it was kind of like a rough start. Like, oh, you're playing great, but your team's still losing by. But yeah, I actually at first I was very reluctant to even think Jaden Daniels' best rookie year because one, I didn't really say he was rookie of the year, which he is, fair enough. But I just gotta keep my thing going. But
believe alive.
I gotta keep it going just in case it happens. I don't sound like, well, you didn't even believe. Like I gotta keep it going. But when I think of best rookie quarterback seasons, before I started looking up stats, the first people that came to mind was like, okay, Cam Newton had this Superman little thing, right? But win and loss record, he went 6-10. He won 6 games, so they went 6-10. Also, he had way more interceptions. Then I thought C.J. Stroud. I was like, everybody was talking about C.J. Stroud rookie year, and his rookie year was good. It was he 15 games. They made the playoffs. 1 fourth quarter comeback, 3 game winning drives. The stats were like I told y'all, and I'm on record saying his stats were not misleading. Like he wasn't good, but his touchdown interception ratio, I felt and I watched that a lot of those should have been interceptions, weren't interceptions, kind of thing. But nonetheless, to me, it was a top 3, top 4 all-time rookie quarterback. Then Justin Herbert came about, and that's where I've also put him at like 2 or 3 because I had to think about Big Ben. But Big Ben was a part of a defense that was a top-tier style of defense, and his stats in the playoffs was absolutely terrible because he made it the furthest, I believe, out of all the rookie quarterbacks, of course, with Jaden Daniels being one of them as well. But Big Ben's stats in the playoffs were absurdly bad. Jaden Daniels is Mark said, I'll leave him out of this. I'll leave him out of this. But Jaden Daniels, he has 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's playing flawlessly against teams. Don't get me wrong that their pass defense isn't good, but it doesn't matter. It's the playoffs. This is where
playoffs. I'm like on the road, 2 games on the road to play.
Right.
I'll play Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff. He's like, I know he started in a wild card round, and a lot of guys have been saying it all on these different shows. He's playing possibly the best out of all the quarterbacks right now in the playoffs.
Ooh, okay.
What about Andrew Luck?
Yeah, so let me get to the comments because I want to get on Andrew Luck. Let's see.
I was waiting to say that.
Is this a fluke season for the Washington? I'm gonna say Commanders. I would say I agree. A fluke, yes. No. Fluke meaning none of us other than Jay.
We didn't see it. Yeah.
A fluke means that all right. None of us had them making a NFC Championship playoff game. Not a fraud. Yeah. They're not frauds. Like they're getting lucky and they're really not that good. They are good, but
I thought fluke meant more like this is a one-time thing, and then not more like surprise.
No, it's a surprise. Fluke is like, okay, none of us predicted this. None of us could have saw this coming. Not even got none of us sniffed it. Jalen kind of sniffed it, but none of us really did. So
Yeah.
that's when it's fluke. Again, when you say fraudulent, then that's being disrespectful. And I ain't gonna be disrespectful because they made it here for a reason. And they proved me wrong too many times for me to
The
call them.
I gotta
first,
look up the definition. Hold on.
I will say
Go
I'll tell you
ahead.
because I had to read it several times
Okay.
yesterday when I said this. The first word is an unexpected. So we can start right there.
Yeah.
Like we all agree, no one expected the Commanders to be in the NFC Championship.
Nope.
Unexpected, and then it goes series of luck of occurrence or something like that. I can't read it. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I just know I was going based off of the word unexpected.
Yes,
Now, it's a fluke season and it'll stand today. Now, next year, if they go to the NFC Championship, let's just say they go to the playoffs again or whatever. Then we can kind of look back on the season like, okay, that might not have been a fluke. But as it stands right now, this is a fluke season. And it's not a fraudulent season.
No.
It's a fluke season. So I don't think people know the difference of what I'm trying to say because when I said the word fluke, everyone in the comments got mad, immediately called me a hater. So I read the definition 30 times of what the word fluke means.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
And the key word I'm trying to get people to say is unexpected.
That's how you debate, fellas. I love it. I love it. Keep the defining terms. How you do it. But Scruffy McMuffin, we'll get back on this. I'll take Andrew Luck, Big Ben, CJ Stroud rookie years over Jaden
This
Daniels.
guy's emotional.
So Big Ben, I understand Big Ben because it's okay, once he started, he went 13-0. He didn't lose as the starting quarterback, right? But he had a lot to work with. You had Bill Cowher as your head coach. You had a very, very good defense. Your running back was good. And in the playoffs, you did not play well. You played really, really bad. Andrew Luck, we'll get on Andrew Luck because I think he has a nice argument. CJ Stroud, in my opinion, he just didn't do enough.
The reason CJ Stroud is there is because if you're talking about which rookie did it with the least amount, he is number one.
Yeah. Well, Andrew Luck, man. After Peyton left, a lot of those guys left.
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck was right there. Too.
Yeah, I'd say about the same.
It's a good conversation, though. Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, yeah.
But Andrew Luck, he didn't have a running game. His defense was terrible. At least y'all's defense last year, even though it was unexpected, you played good in moments. You know, you had like it's things that are showing this year. You could kind of see dwindling, like kind of rearing its head last year, kind of thing. That makes sense. Hold on, let me put.
CJ had rookie coach, all that. Yeah.
Right on. I love that Jalen A. Smith perfectly defined the difference between fluke and fraud on his live yesterday. Used it for my argument on the pod yesterday to change Alex's mind. Shout out to Chi-Town because he did change his mind. I can't stand somebody that won't change their mind when the evidence is right in front of them. That really ticks me off. So shout out to Chi-Town for being a reasonable human being. Luck of occurrence means chances weren't good because they shouldn't be. Right. The fraudulent Redskins. All right, Scruff. I need to know who you are, dude. Because
you gotta pick and choose his. You know,
right. But with Andrew Luck, the reason why I couldn't put his rookie year because I wanted to. Eventually, I was like, wait a minute. He had the most passing yards of all time as a rookie. Their team before he showed up won 2 games, so the team was in disarray. Like, the team was very, very bad. He comes along. And they win 11 games. They go 11-5. They make the playoffs. He has 4 fourth-quarter comebacks. He has 7 game-winning drives. But it's just the reason why he didn't win Rookie of the Year. RG3 won it. He had 23 touchdowns, 5 of them being rushing as well, and 18 interceptions. And a lot of those interceptions weren't his fault. I remember those distinctly. His receivers kind of sucked. But
it was horrible.
Yes. So a lot of those weren't his fault, but you're not going to beat a RG3 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 69.4 QBR. You're not going to beat a guy like that also at the time broke Cam Newton's rushing record. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I would say best rookie quarterback season in history. I'm still digesting it. I'll say one. He's in the top 3 for certain, but I also want to put this out there. He is he's the 6th rookie starter. This is overall all rookies, not just quarterback. 6 rookie starter to reach the conference title round starter. and he's the first to do it without a top 3 scoring defense. So it just makes it that much better for his case. Now, even if they lose against Philly, which we'll talk about, if he has a good game, because again, it's not really him that's been any kind of downfall for Washington when they lose, then I mean, I might consider him the best rookie overall season, a quarterback of all time.
If they go to Super Bowl, it's a lock, though, right? Can we agree on that?
Yes.
I'm like, if he balls and then he falls a little bit short, I think he's there regardless.
Because if you have the conversation best quarterback rookie regular season, that's when you can start debating with all the quarterbacks I named. When you talk about the playoffs, the only one that even is comparable is CJ. CJ also had, 2 good games, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. When they were losing, when they lost the game, again, it was just a Ravens team that was built to be in the playoffs and a Texans team that were not gonna. They overachieved that year. They overachieved. So it's not a fluke just because y'all made it again this year. So it definitely wasn't a fluke. It's just it was a big surprise. Nobody expected it with the talent you had, but the quarterback mixed with the coaching proved a lot of people wrong last year. But all right, let's go to everybody's favorite. I wish I wanted to pick against them, but I just said, you know what? I really don't want, for some reason, I don't want them to win, so I'm just going to pick them. And it worked. Baltimore losing to Buffalo, 25-27. Buffalo on their way to Arrowhead for their fourth time.
I know it's at least 3 times.
Yeah, I think it's 3.
4.
I think it's 4th because I think he's 0-3. He's 0-3 against Mahomes in the postseason. In the regular season, he has a winning record. Anybody can fact check me if I am wrong on that, but
you might be right.
But Baltimore losing a nail biter, losing because of the failed 2-point conversion.
It's the 4th time. Yeah, my bad.
4th time? Okay.
Yeah.
So with Baltimore, let's talk about Baltimore real quick. What do they have to do? With the game, don't get me wrong. They lost because of the early turnovers.
Yep,
the second half they played very well. The second half they played very good. They showed that they have a better overall team. They're more well-rounded on both parts, defense and offense. But the 3 turnovers to no turnovers for Buffalo, I think kind of shot them in the foot. What are y'all thoughts?
With me, it's just Lamar Jackson needs to realize he doesn't need to be Superman out there the whole game. I'm like, that's what Josh Allen this season kind of held back on. That's why you're not seeing as many turnovers. He knows he could do what he needs to do, stay within his own realm, and use that run game to score and do what he needs to do. Lamar Jackson was making some bonehead mistakes, like on that interception. I'm like, who is he throwing it to? What is he looking at?
That was a good one.
And then the fumble, I'm like, hey, bro, like you got to know whenever to like let this play die. And it just seemed like all that stuff is finally weighing on his shoulders yet again because he knows that in the playoffs, what usually happens with him.
Right, but that wasn't the first half. To be fair to Lamar, that was first half. Second half, he definitely played.
He finally got into a groove, but it was just like I was like the first half. It was like okay, it's gonna rear its ugly head yet again, where Lamar Jackson, plays bad and uses those interception and that fumble, and it ended up making them lose the game. Anyway, splice it 3 turnovers to 0 turnovers. More times than not, the team with 0 turnovers is going to win that game.
Yes, I agree. And this divisional round kind of proved all of that, right? Detroit has 5 turnovers. Washington has 0. Who won? By a bigger margin than the Buffalo and Baltimore. So, Valdez family, he was choking like he always does. I know you don't. For some reason, y'all are against Lamar. People think I'm against Lamar. I'm really not. I just try to be fair with everything. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jalen.
I think that's a very immature. That's very bad. Like
choking, right? I don't think he choked.
Yeah. Anyone saying Lamar choked or blaming Lamar for this loss that's immature. I'm not gonna lie. Like again, I try to be fair across the board.
I don't.
But that's just immature. Like we saw what actually happened in the game. Like a quarterback causing like throwing a pick. It's football, right? But in the clutch, would it matter? He put the ball where it needed to be,
Amen.
and he can't again.
Lamar.
This is another situation, just like the first game of the season. Lamar put the ball on the money to Likely, and Lamar gets the flag because of the play before. Okay, the play before, the play's over. The next play, he gets it to Likely. Likely can't get his feet in. That's not Lamar's job to get Likely's feet in. And now we're in the playoffs saying the same thing. Like he put the ball. That was a backyard father and son pitch and catch kind of catch.
Agreed.
And
Yeah,
now
Mark Andrews. Yeah.
Lamar is choking. That's that's bad. That's bad.
So on the comment, Jose Milton is a certified Lamar hater. Guys, I hope y'all don't think of me as that. I think I call it fair when Lamar is being on a pedestal. I normally give him praise. It's just it depends. All right, what are we talking about? Are we talking about this? It's all context dependent. But I agree with everything Jalen just said. I wouldn't put this game on Lamar. Again, he made 2 bad mistakes in the first half. Now, the second half, like Jalen said, he did everything he could do to win this game, or at least put him in position to go to overtime, to remedy the mistakes. And it wasn't just on him. Mark Andrews had a fumble. Another guy had a fumble, but he recovered his fumble. I just don't get it. Like, I get the narrative that Lamar Jackson in the playoffs isn't as good as the regular season, which is true. That's most quarterbacks, by the way. Tom Brady, he's great in the clutch. And y'all know I know this, and all of you should know this. But when we compare regular season stats to playoff stats, his regular season stats are better. Peyton Manning, that's an obvious one. That's where they're comparing Lamar right now is to Peyton Manning, because they both 3-5 in the playoffs. They haven't won this, haven't won that, have great regular season games versus the playoffs. Now, Lamar got that narrative for his first 2 seasons making the playoffs because he had bad stats. He was bad in the playoffs. He choked, if you can say, in the playoffs. His last 2 years, he's played fine in the playoffs. It's not been on him. Last year, remember, we were all talking about that, well, I don't know what the offensive coordinator was doing, stopping the run. It was play calling at that point. So the whole narrative on Lamar choking in the playoffs, it has to be put to bed. I'm just saying, like, yes, he's not getting over that hump. That's when we could talk about what Baltimore needs to do. It's not because of Lamar Jackson. And I bet you that surprises people coming from, I have no idea why. I don't hate on Lamar. But it's just about being fair. It's not his fault that they lost this game. He was the reason why they were even in contention to be in the game. Derrick Henry did his thing. Lamar did his thing both ways, rushing the ball and passing the ball. He had a better overall game than Josh Allen. That doesn't mean anything, but it's just overall 3 turnovers versus 0. That's where, the game's going to, unfortunately, it was too close for that to be occurring.
Yeah, and then on his 2 turnovers, the Bills capitalized and scored 14 points off of that. So that's pretty big. And then Jose Flowers, you could see him being deeply missed. It was just crazy to see, when you look at the offensive numbers, they led over the Bills. It's just the Bills did what they needed to do at home. They didn't play without other means, and they did what they were supposed to do, just kept home field throughout the game. Hopefully Lamar can get over the hump eventually.
We just said I picked the Ravens hoping they lose. So I was hoping that the Ravens lost because I like the story that Josh Allen is coming up with. Not because I hate Lamar. I don't hate Lamar. I think Lamar is a top. There's a Mount Rushmore right now in the NFL as quarterbacks, and everybody's very, very far away when it comes to the best 4 quarterbacks in the league, and Lamar's one of them.
So it's almost like you have to play 2 good halves of football to win in the playoffs, right?
Oh,
That's to answer the question about what the Ravens need to do. And as far as Lamar avoiding the choking thing, I get you can't put it all on Andrews like we were talking earlier. That's not cool to do to him, right?
Agreed.
But at the same time, you can't put it all on Lamar. Some has to go a little bit to him too. You can't play like that in the first half. You know what you're up against. You're facing your 2 biggest teams back to back. This is the time you would win these 2 games. You got to, a ride to the Super Bowl. You can finally beat all your critics. But once again, you have a bad half. Like, you have to take some accountability for that. So I think it's about 50 on Lamar for that game and then 50 on Andrews. Yeah, Lamar brought him back, so, he gets some of that off of him. But, yeah, he still definitely gets some of the credit for the loss in my eyes.
Any pushback? Go ahead, Joe. It's good.
I don't. Again, we just critique quarterbacks differently, like across the board. I don't get it. And let me just say this point. Like you said, Milton, a lot of quarterbacks are going to have better regular season numbers than playoffs. I don't know if people are aware of this.
Mostly all of them. Yeah.
There's 17 regular season games, so you have way more opportunity to have better numbers than because the thing is, even if you like Lamar last year, the first round was a bye for him, so he's automatically. So he really only has 2 to 3 games to perform in the playoffs. It's not like they have the wide margin just to perform. So most quarterback numbers aren't going to be the best. So just to say that he chokes in the playoffs, again, it's a lazy argument at this point. Like it's not well thought out. Because again, if you're a stat watcher, okay, sure. But if you actually watched the game, you saw a football game. You saw mistakes happen. But you also saw the quarterback make the drive, make the pass, and from the ball releasing from his arm to the receiver catching it, his job is over. So he did his job.
Just for a tie, though.
But hey, but it puts them in position for a tie, right?
Yeah. And to refute,
it's on your defense to do what your defense does. Like, you can't put that on Lamar.
Yeah, it's just 2 games he's got to perform, but dude's been training for these 2 games for like 4 years now. You know what I mean? Every year, these 2 games are coming, and you somehow lose them every year.
One, I think y'all agree on every little point. Because, let me ask you, Jalen. Because one, Cody's not saying that Lamar choked, right?
Right. I'm not saying that this exact one is all on him, but damn, like this whole in retrospect, it is though, right?
Right. So Jalen, that question goes to you. Because I hope you're not opposed to he is part of the reason of the loss. Because when it comes to turnover battles, he had 2 of them. Right?
Not 50. I don't agree with 50%. That's what I'm getting.
Okay.
50% Lamar, 50 or Andrew. I know because who the offensive coordinator? I'm about to say something.
Oh, Monk and
coordinator is
right. Yeah.
Because Derrick Henry only had 16 carries, and every game that Derrick Henry had more than 20 carries, they win the ball game.
And he was having good runs. He was having a good game.
So that's why I said
you could definitely go ahead.
Lamar can't take 50% of this. That's insane to say, bro. Like, to me, like, come on.
I'm talking about player wise.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Well,
yeah.
Well, if you just talking player wise,
because I mean the players had a chance, like you're saying, to do the game and win the game, but at least tie. You know what I mean? So.
Yes. In that scenario, yes. But I'm talking. See, I think what I'm speaking of is like the whole play calling
overall.
Because I'm looking at Derrick Henry, and again, we look at the final and we see 16 carries. And it's like, again, they did it once again. What got them there, they abandoned it. It makes no sense, bro. Derrick Henry had 25 carries that game. I don't care if it's 3rd and 8 at this point. Give Derrick Henry the ball because, as you know, he can be just not as good as a home run hitter as Saquon. But, it's not far off either because Derrick Henry has taken some 80, 70-yard, 60-yard runs. So, again, that's my whole thing about this. And and again, at the end of the day, I'm going to protect Lamar because a lot of people crap on his name, but don't hold that same energy for other kind of quarterbacks. And I'm not going to make it about that.
No.
But I am going to defend Lamar and say, bro, if you're saying Lamar chokes, again, I get your standpoint, Cody, with the 50% thing, but I'm talking about the whole thing. But if you're just trying to weigh more on Lamar than anything, I'm not.
There is to Jalen's point. There is a lot of those conversations being had. There are legit people that still believe that Lamar Jackson is not that great of a thrower of the ball. I just don't get it.
He proved it to me this season.
4,000 yards.
And then the way he came to Mark Andrews, defense, man,
of course,
made me become a full believer. Like, if I want a franchise quarterback and to lead my franchise, that's one of the core four that I would want, because I'd never heard him talk like that in the media before. Because usually he's just like kind of standoffish a little bit, like he doesn't like talk all crazy. But for him to publicly come out and say Mark Andrews and come to his aid of his pretty much premier pass catcher that he's grown up with,
Right.
made me realize like, hey, bro, like he is a franchise guy to me.
Yeah, it's a team sport. Again,
Right.
we all agree that no one player deserves 100% of the blame, unless I guess there might be some scenarios where it is, oh, he threw 3 pick sixes. Well, I'm gonna put like 80% on
Yeah.
it. So I
Well,
guess it does depend, but not with this game. It was okay, a tale of two halves. The second half is, as I think all can agree, the second half is the most important half, and he
Right.
had a good second half. It's just the turnovers,
got
not just
behind.
his, the turnovers, yes, and the lack of executing the play that was right there in your hands. Again, not on all Mark Andrews, but all that accumulating to a team that didn't turn the ball over, ran for the second most yards against Baltimore this entire season overall. That, incorporates into Buffalo moving on to a championship game. Let's go. It's not like Lamar and the Ravens are losing to bum wildcard teams. They literally
Right.
losing to, of course.
I did say that, yeah.
Right? They're not,
Yeah.
they're
I don't think anybody. Well, nobody on this panel is going to say that.
Well, last year they lost to the champs, and then this year it's to be determined. But it's still the 1-2 in the
Right.
AFC. So again, we're not losing. And I don't know if we're going to segue to this. I might be jumping the gun. Let me actually wait. I'm gonna wait on it.
No, do it.
Get it. Yeah.
It's
I just
improv.
want to also take just a brief moment here to defend my quarterback real quick. And this is we have to start actually watching football games at this point if you want to debate with me or anybody else, because these arguments are getting real lazy. And honestly, I'm not about to entertain them no more. So we look at Jalen Hurts' numbers. Just look at his numbers from the Rams game, right? It's not quarterback yet, I guess, for today's football. It's not 250 yards. It's not all this crazy stuff. So people are like, Jalen can't throw. Lazy argument. So, but then we look at Buffalo because I don't know, Jose or anybody, can y'all pull the stats from that game?
Oh, Josh Allen was 16 of 22 for 121.
Well, Jalen Hurts had a better game. I think he had one rushing touchdown, right?
Yeah, for 44
And Josh-
yards. He
and Josh
almost
had
had he almost had 200 total yards.
But go ahead, Jalen. Go ahead,
But
Jalen.
my point is play styles, right? We have a running back who is killing everybody.
Right.
And just like, I don't know if anybody watched Shannon Sharp, he was in agreement with pretty much my mindset. Pretty much when they had Terrell Davis, he was like, hey, we're going to keep running this ball until y'all stop him. Why would we throw the ball and y'all can't stop the run? Why would we make the game harder? So it seems like if Jalen Hurts isn't making the game harder, putting up 300 yards, he's not a top 10 quarterback. He can't pass. He can't do this. But he's a good game manager because we've seen many of games where he's managed that clock and made the third and 5 conversions to Devontae Smith, AJ Brown slant across the middle, whatever he needs to do, game managing wise. Like, he's a very smart quarterback. People were complaining about his turnovers. I think he only has 5 interceptions on the year.
Yeah.
And he played every game but one, the one he got knocked up. He played every game. He has 1,000-yard receiver within AJ Brown. So it's not like we're not utilizing the guy at all. So these whole arguments about, this quarterback is not a real quarterback, but this one is, and he pretty much just did the same thing, but we're praising. No one's talking down on Josh Allen's performance in the Ravens game. No one has said nothing. But they keep critiquing Jalen Hurts and said, he can't throw the ball. He can't do this. He can't do that. I'm like, why? Okay, so if Jalen Hurts is a running back, then Josh Allen's a fullback.
Well, I agree with all your points, but I guess it just depends on who your audience and who you're speaking to. Because one, I think Jalen Hurts had a great game because he didn't ruin the game. If a quarterback doesn't make the mistakes and he puts the ball where it needs to be, and I believe in game managers. Game managers, I'd rather that than a game changer. What Cam say, right? Game changer, game manager. I'll take the game manager because everybody said Joe Montana was. He has all those rings. Tom Brady was. He has all those rings. So I don't care. I don't care about all of that. Aaron Rodgers is a game changer. He has 1 ring. Losing record in the playoffs. I don't care about that. Like, you can have all of these game managers have good skills that game changers have. They just they can't throw the ball on their back foot 70 yards. Oh, whoop-de-doo. No one cares. But to your point, like, I'm not going to, and I don't think you're doing this, but I'm not going to demean another quarterback like in Josh Allen and his play because other people are demeaning Jalen Hurts. That's just what the people that are demeaning Jalen Hurts aren't watching, or they just have an agenda and saying or trying to rile you up, or just saying that Philly sucks, that kind of thing. Because
Right.
anybody watching these games, anybody that's watched Jalen Hurts when he throws the ball again less than 40, 50 times, especially with a running back like Saquon, that's success.
Right.
When they're talking about, oh, he's a turnover machine in the first couple weeks, sure.
Yeah. First
And then
two.
he dialed it back.
Yeah.
And it became a totally different Jalen Hurts. And now he's getting criticized because he's not doing all of that. I'm with you on that, but that doesn't mean anything, really. Those are just casual kind of takes. Again, lazy arguments. It's a bad argument.
It just doesn't make sense. Again, I'm just saying it doesn't make sense to me. If we're really gonna talk about like top 10 quarterbacks, like legitly, let's take into consideration of different play styles for different organizations too. Because if you have a pass heavy quarterback like the Seahawks and Geno Smith is dropping back 40, almost 50 times a game, of course he should be the passing leader in the NFL at some point, right? That only makes sense. But if I got a running back here who I unhitched the trailer on, and he's taking off for 2K, of course Jalen Hurts ain't gonna have 3,500 yards. Come on, man.
Yeah, I just think that they're looking at it like for these instances in the playoffs where they want him to kind of let it loose a little bit. Because there's sometimes when I'm watching the games and I'm just like, okay, you need to make a play. And I know Saquon has been there all season where he's been the bell cow, so he's been doing what he needs to do. But when is Jalen gonna be able to? All right, it's 3rd and 10, and we need to make a play.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm looking at this season because I'm looking at his stats: 18 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's really good. But the 18 passing touchdowns, I feel like that's the least he's ever had in his career.
He has 14 rushing, right?
Yeah, well, 14 rushing. I'm like, Saquon should have a lot more. I'm like, hey,
Well, that's
come
fair.
on, stop
Fair.
doing
Fair.
that.
Yeah.
Like why continue to do that? Like why continue to do that when you have Saquon Barkley there?
Right.
I feel like that's a little bit of a balloon stat.
That's fair.
But 2,900 yards, Kellen Moore. You see back in the day how Dak's numbers, whenever he was there, he had his best passing years whenever he was his OC. So I was just thinking like, okay, he's going to kind of unleash the ball a little bit because you got Smitty, you got Goddard, you got AJ Brown. And I know you don't have to, but me in these situations now, you're going to have to let the ball go. If you're going to beat a Patrick Mahomes possibly in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl possibly, what is what's his name? Spags going to do possibly? Try to contain Barkley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how much?
Good luck with that. Yeah.
How much, Jalen, do you think that stems kind of from what you had a question about Jalen Hurts earlier? Is that when that moment comes and he needs to pass? So, like, say if that happens this next game from Commanders, y'all get down and y'all have to have Hurts passing, and he has a bad game. Then that's what I think a lot of that comes from is people thinking that way about Jalen Hurts because he has done that before.
But it has to happen this year for them to keep saying it. It hasn't
No,
happened.
fair.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying I think
get you.
that's looms, and that's why where that comes from.
That's what I've been looking at like this offseason because, the media has got into the middle of this locker room and has got in the middle of the offense. Like AJ Brown, he's been balling. Smitty has been up and down with his injuries here and there. Goddard has been in and out of the injuries, and hopefully, the rest of this playoff run that they have, that they're fully healthy, and we can finally see how this Eagles offense looks at full health. You know what I mean? And the Commanders, they're on a meteoric rise right now, and can they continue it, or are the Eagles going to show, hey, we've been here, we've been the bullies on the block in the NFC the past couple of years, and continue to show, Jalen Hurts to me needs to uptick his play in order for them to win a Super Bowl. To me,
when necessary, I like to put that.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When he has to, like you said, 3rd and 10, y'all need to make this play. Jalen Hurts throws an interception. Boom, there's another 2nd and long. He throws an interception. Then yeah, for sure. But it has to happen. Like it, you have Saquon there, like you said. Kellen Moore, yeah, he had Dak, and Dak had his best years. Dak didn't have a running back, so you have Saquon back there. I'm also on Shannon. I definitely never agree with Shannon Sharp, but I also will say, yeah, if you have a guy like Saquon, Terrell Davis, we're not going to stop. And I don't care. Oh, the numbers aren't sexy. That's good that you have a quarterback that's secure in himself, that's not going to throw a fit because he's not throwing the ball 40, 50 times. The team's winning.
No, fair. Yeah.
But
But
I
we'll
feel like
see. We'll see.
this
It's a
week
call.
it's going to be a very key because the Commanders secondary is not that good.
Right, but their run defense is also very bad.
No, well, I would much rather have AJ Brown destroying these secondary guys that they have.
All right.
You know, Bobby Wagner's still there for a reason.
Yeah,
I know he's aged a little bit, but
they're,
it's going to be a matchup.
they're 29th in stopping the run. I don't care about Bobby.
It's the playoffs still. None of that
That's
matters.
fair. You're right. You're right on that. You're right. To me, it doesn't matter if a QB only throws the ball 10 times. The main goal is to win the game. The people that make that argument never play football in their life. And again, that's no
capitalizes 10.
We get it. 10. Jalen Hurts in 2024 did 2,900 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions with 630 rushing yards, 14 touchdowns. So that makes over 3,500 total yards, 32 touchdowns. In comparison, let's take the MVP off, but I guess Lamar Jackson in 2023 did almost 3,700 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions with over 800 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. Boom. Yeah, I get it.
No,
So
but how many of those were from the tush push at the one? You know,
so the touchdowns fair, but I mean passing yards. The
Eagles had a blunder last year at the end of the season, so there's nobody who's going to win MVP on that team.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, they did. Okay, all right, guys. Well, quick question: with Detroit, them losing their offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, what's the move? What do y'all think is the next move? What can these guys do? Because, Joe, like you kind of said, and they said the year prior, one, it's hard to make the championship game. It's hard to make the playoffs again. It's hard to be a dominant team year in, year out because of fluctuations, other teams getting better, division out, etc. What do you think is next for this team? Like, they're still going to have the same players most likely, and they'll probably gain some players because they're not in cap hell or anything. What do you think's next for this team for them to get better and actually get to this championship game?
They just got to stay healthy, man. Unfortunately, that can't always happen, but I feel like they've reached their ceiling, and which is the NFC Championship game more than likely. And then after that, unfortunately, Super Bowl is not in their cards. Jared Goff, who we talked about in the past, could possibly hinder that. And it reared its ugly head this past week, unfortunately.
Same question, Cody and Jalen.
I'm gonna be a little more optimistic. I believe in a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs and him carrying the offense and being the next star running back. So if I was them, I would get an offensive coordinator that is going to be focused more on running, not as much as passing mix. And just go straight for it. Maybe trade Montgomery, get something better out of him, while he's still got some left, because you clearly can move to Gibbs just being the one. Maybe you get a good piece behind him, but not as good. And then maybe you can trade and get some other pieces that you need on defense, because I feel like that's what they need to bounce back to is defense. So I believe that the Lions still have a chance to maybe make a Super Bowl in a few years. I don't know. But these next year or so will be very telling to see how their future is going to go.
What you think, Jalen?
I think the Lions might have missed their Super Bowl window. And I say this only because of this. Just like when I told you guys the 49ers are going to hit that injury bug because, these late playoff runs time and time again. They were in the NFC. They were in the NFC Championship last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. They get to the divisional this year with already a plethora of injuries. You lose your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator. They signed a bunch of one-year deals. I don't know if y'all realize that. And so this free agency is not about to be very nice to them at all. With that being said, also in your division, you have a very young division that's on the rise for way cheaper than what you have your team right now. The Vikings again. They're not as young, but they're a quarterback away, right there. As we just saw win 14 games. The Bears with his Ben Johnson move, he makes the right decisions. They're right there. The Packers again, they were hurt. I mean, Jordan Love's. I still think he can get them over somewhat of the hump, but I'm just saying it's still competitive to that point to where this is not trying to be funny. but this is not the Texans, the Colts. Like this is a very competitive division. I'm not trying to. I'm just being real. It's a very competitive.
No,
division.
yeah, for sure.
They might honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to be. They might have missed their playoff window. I mean, their Super Bowl window. They might have missed it. And again, I said might, but seeing how I'm seeing everything, I can't see this team making the same kind of run they made this year or the year before. I'll be honest.
Okay, real quick, let me get to this comment. You can't take away what's already in the record books, Milton. Oh, that's the record. Well, hey, man.
We need
Yeah,
to get him a
I'm not-
plaque.
I'm not taking it away because he definitely got it, but hey, I've said my piece on that part. All right. Chi-Town, yep, no OC, no DC. All the Lions coaching staff is bailing. Yeah. Well, I mean, like y'all said, it's kind of we made it this far again. It's another woe. They'll be in more prominent positions next year as far as the OC and the DC. Hopefully, they get a good OC that sticks to the recipe, like Cody said. Run first. That's it. Like passing should be a secondary. Passing should be as far
Damn
as
near a
like,
third option.
yeah, like right. More of like the Jalen Hurts method. Milton certified. Okay, all right.
So for y'all that think that the Lions Super Bowl window is closed, then how long do you think Dan Campbell sticks around?
However long, Dan ain't gonna leave where
He-
Yeah,
he.
he ain't gonna leave
He
Detroit.
might be 10th there, bro. He might be good.
I feel
Yeah.
like if they're not gonna be competing, eventually he's gonna leave.
I don't think he'll leave on his own merit because
Yeah,
one
I think-
again, this might be a hot take. I don't think he's that good of a coach. So we'll see.
I just feel like he's a motivator. I feel like
He's a
guy like
motivator,
that.
once man.
He's
Sure.
a player's coach, yeah.
There you
But
go.
that
players coach.
seems to be working better than the old school style. So
We'll see now. Now we'll see because
Right.
you don't have Ben Johnson to roll on. Like, oh yeah, your offense is top. When Ben Johnson wasn't the play caller and Dan Campbell, it was only 1 year, and he had a bad team overall. His offense wasn't looking good without Ben Johnson. You know what I mean? Again, fair. It was he got a bad team, a Matt Patricia led team. Fair, but
right.
just putting that in perspective. Now we'll see, depending on what OC goes over there. If he's not a prominent name, and let's say all these big ballsy moves that he does bites him in the tail next year more, we'll see. I wish the best for Dan Campbell because he is. I agree. I think he is good for the NFL, 100%.
Yeah,
like especially Detroit. Detroit can use a motivating man like that, a man's man that played for the team as well. So I'm for him. I just don't like how he might want to move on. I don't think he's that good of a coach yet to have Kevin O'Connell like I want to leave, Sean McVay I want to leave. Those guys can kind of do it whatever they want because they're a name. Dan Campbell did put a nice feather in his cap, even though I think it's more OC and DC, but beating Kevin O'Connell the way he did at the last game of the year.
Right. That was
He
big.
did. 100%. As far as like even the coach of the year kind of candidacy, if he wins it, that might have won it for him. Milton loves Derek Carr. Okay. All right. Come on. We're getting off track here. All right. Where was I going? Hold on. All the coaching stuff's been.
You're going very Carr.
That was a bad one.
That was bad.
Lions are fifth in available cap space next season. That's what they better do something. I'll ask that actually. Top 5 in cap: New England at the most, Las Vegas second, Chicago third, Detroit fourth. As of now, things can change. People can get released and all this other thing, so that can change. But I guess number 1 through 3, I don't think it's going to change. We'll see.
I think Houston will have all right cap. I don't think
y'all
top
aren't bad in
10,
cap.
but
Yeah. You're not bad in cap. So there's certain teams that are really bad in cap, and I think we can all guess. Yeah, one's over there. Philly, I don't know. Philly's GM is really good with moving things. The Saints are in a bad position. The Browns are in a bad position. There's some teams that are in pretty bad positions. But one last question, and then we'll move on to the championship game. Baltimore. Again, I think we all agree Lamar is their quarterback for the future. Lamar is the brightest spot on the team. Derrick Henry pickup was an amazing addition, and they should run with that. I mean that sincerely. The offensive line started off bad, but played better as the year progressed. The secondary played awful in the beginning half of the year, and in the second half of the year played very well. Played very, very good. I was definitely surprised on how good that they played as a unit. What is it for what is there to change in Baltimore? How does this team get over this playoff? They're going to be most likely in the playoffs. I'm not going to pick against them this year. Just heads up. What's going to move the needle for them? And this time we'll start Jalen, Cody, Joe.
Move the needle for the Ravens, man.
Like, what do they? And I don't want to hear, oh, they don't have to do anything. Obviously, they do. They have to do something.
There's only, to me, with the Ravens, honestly, there's only one thing that really pops out to me that they really need to do. They need a star-studded receiver. We've seen Lamar with no running back. We've seen him with one of the best running backs. What we have yet to see Lamar with is a star-studded receiver, not an up-and-coming one like Zay Flowers. He's a Pro Bowler.
It's good.
This season, year 2 for him. I'm talking about a veteran star-studded receiver. That is what's missing from the Baltimore Ravens at this point. I think that's what. I think you get that. You get, to me, it's like having it's the one. Kobe Bryant had this philosophy that I still remember to this day. He said in the regular season, there's a 1-2-3 punch on the basketball court. And I'm going to use that same analogy for the Baltimore Ravens. They need a 1-2-3 punch. They have the 1 and 2 for sure.
Right.
That 3, and it has to be a good punch. It can't. Again, Zay Flowers I think he's a good receiver. He's not what I think the Ravens need, though. I think they need someone of the stature, and I'm not saying this receiver, but someone of a stature, be realistic, of an A.J. Brown, of a Justin Jefferson, of a Garrett Wilson. You know what I mean? Someone that really makes an impact to the game in the receiving game that you cannot ignore ever. Because there's some teams, I'm not going to lie, this season, they kind of blew up Zay Flowers. That's why he was catching all them yards. They wasn't taking him as a serious threat.
Right.
They need someone that when they line up, no, we take him as a threat and game plan. So when they have that 1-2-3 punch in the regular season, it opens up so much to where it's already hard to game plan with Lamar and Derrick Henry just alone. Now imagine if they had that outside threat too, bro. GG's. There's nothing at that point to me. There's nothing you can do, and I don't think Lamar has a problem. Also, you get rid of Justin Tucker. He was phenomenal for your franchise. It's time for him to go. He left too many points on the board.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. Yeah, this
First ballot, but he got to go.
He got to go. He got to go, bro. And then, hey, Mark Andrews, it's Isaiah Likely. It's Isaiah Likely team now. No, for tight ends, it's Isaiah Likely.
But Likely ain't gonna do what Andrews does, the blocking and all that.
You gotta give him the space, man. You gotta give him the space, bro. I'm telling you, Likely is, bro.
He's a wide receiver,
right? So I think he's a future pass catcher, but to Cody's point, he is not a blocker.
Yeah,
he's not a blocker.
In that scheme that they run, run the ball.
If Mark Andrews isn't a bad cap hit, then keep him and elevate Likely's utilization for sure. But if you get rid of Andrews, you at least Likely could be a number 1 tight end. I'm not disagreeing, but you have to have another tight end that's a blocker. Like you can't just leave that side open. That's not going to be good for Lamar. Could get out of trouble, but
but if I had to say a receiver, a receiver,
number 1.
Yeah, a receiver that I think needs to go over there. Like I said, Garrett Wilson. I think if Garrett Wilson can get out of New York, because that's a dumpster fire anyway. If he can find his way out of there, or like a Jackson Smith and Jigba type, these are the kind of people that's like to that end. Maybe AJ Brown and what I say, whoever else I said, maybe that's a little bit too much. Because you're not gonna get like a household.
Yeah, you're not.
But like an up and coming one that's already proven. Like Garrett Wilson to me, he's already proven. He's a very good receiver.
So I looked up these upcoming free agents for the wide receiving class. So Diggs, I know he's coming off ACL injury. But T. Higgins or Amari Cooper possibly in Baltimore.
Either one.
T. Higgins for sure.
Even Coop. Let's say Godwin gets healthy.
Yeah,
with Zay Flowers, I think that's good. Like, yes, he's not your. Oh, we have to game plan around him. But if you don't game plan for either or, one of them are going to beat you.
Yeah.
Having at least another weapon. I get it. Like what's the most optimal for Baltimore? I agree is getting a number one receiver status. Like Garrett Wilson obviously would be the most optimal receiver you can get. He's young, talented, probably not even in his prime. So
Right.
that's the
And he
most
gets shin
optimal.
catches.
Yeah, yeah, that. Let's put same question goes to you, Cody. Just with Baltimore, what can they do other than if you already just agree with the wide receiver take, you can just agree. But while you're thinking, when Melton loves
Baltimore.
Derek
Oh, go
Carr,
ahead.
sorry, and hates Lamar Jackson, that's when we have to question his football state of
I
mind.
saw that. Yeah.
Well, I don't hate. Oh golly, man, I don't hate Lamar, man. I just defended him for a couple minutes, and I don't have to defend Lamar. One, we have an entire media for that, and then also on the show we got Jalen for that. He can defend Lamar. That's the Lamar defender. I defend Derek Carr because there's a lot of hatred for
So he
Derek Carr.
sucks.
Hey,
Because
I got a whole paper over here where we could talk about completion percentage, we could talk about QBR, we could talk about passer rating because everybody's saying he sucked this last year. Well, he had a better passer rating than a lot of these quarterbacks that a lot of people really like. So I don't think I want to go that route. But it's okay.
No, I'm good.
Right. So I defend. I don't love Derek Carr, and the way he acts on the field sometimes it actually pisses me off. So Ravens have
17 mil.
17 mil and cap. Go ahead, Cody.
as far as Ravens moving the needle, they can do it by offering Mike McDonald like $20 million to come back or something. They got to do something on defense. Ravens is defense, right? As much as I feel Jalen's idea of getting him more offense, I feel like they got enough offense. They can score enough points to win a game, but they can't stop nothing anymore. You know, the defense is not as good as it was in the playoffs, and that's what I feel like the Ravens need back. They need their identity on defense, and that's what makes the Ravens good in the playoffs.
Joe.
Yeah, no, whenever you pick Matabike over Patrick Queen, I feel like you could have found some beef in the middle, but I feel like no Patrick Queen there to go along with Roquan. You really saw it during the regular season. But what Jalen was talking about, like, I feel like you need like a premier pass catcher for Lamar, somebody who has a repertoire with him. Like Mark Andrews has been hurt the past couple years.
Mhm.
So I feel like maybe even a Keenan Allen, a guy who is
Right.
a possession like catcher of the ball, and somebody who's going to be a safety blanket for Lamar. You know,
I
Mark
agree.
Andrews has just been in and out of like the lineup the past couple of years, and I know I was thinking about this, even though I don't think they should do it, but with the contract that Mark Andrews has, he might possibly be a cap cut, possibly.
Yeah. It probably will be favorable. I'm not gonna. I just don't know the numbers. Have 17 mil in cap space to get a solid wide receiver 1 or 2. They're gonna have to free up some cap, and that could go to Joe's point on releasing certain players. Justin Tucker only making 7 mil. He saved his career in the second half of the season. I'm not moving on from him. Jose's point. Ravens are going to have to decide to move on from between Humphrey. They better not. That's not smart. Or Andrews. I'm probably moving off Andrews in that case. Joffrey Young blocking tight end. Couldn't agree more. I'm not putting your Derek Carr on there because I don't want to talk about Derek Carr, dude. We're talking playoff stuff. Derek Carr's not even thinking about the playoffs right now. So, okay, let us move on to championship football. We got the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, Washington going to Philly. NFC East, NFC Championship showdown. Let's talk about it.
The NFL countdown music, man, is playing in my head.
Yeah, got it. Thought I'd give you your thing, dude. Hold on, let me split this real quick. Stephon Diggs should sign with Baltimore for about 14 mil coming off injury, but can do solid work.
That shit.
I feel like he's coming home to be with his brother, man. But I feel like for some reason
I have a feeling bro's going anywhere to do nothing. Like what is he gonna do?
Whoa, man. Jeez.
Bro,
Hey,
how old is he? He's coming off this injury. He's not going to do nothing.
You're really
year.
high on him, man, when you got him in Houston. So
well, yeah, but he wasn't coming off the same injury like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
But luckily he was in the middle of the season, if I'm not mistaken. So it's be a little bit helpful. Like if it was like right now or like towards the
Sounds
end.
good.
Stupid. All right. But with Philly, of course, we're going to start off with the Philly fan himself. Okay, I don't like that. I didn't like that at all. Jalen didn't like it. Looks kind of scary, kind of creepy. I don't know what you're going for, but respect it anyways. But Philly, Washington, you already saw them twice. Again, you lost the second matchup mainly because Jalen got knocked out the game, in my opinion. What are you looking at in this matchup? How do you think this? Tell me, break this down, because you could break it down better than, well, maybe Joe as well, because this is a divisional opponent that you saw already twice this year. Tell me your thoughts.
First off, is I love the Cowboys got to sit back and watch two division rivals go at it. But I love it.
It always comes back to
Oh, Joe, this is my turn to talk. Damn it. So I will break it down like this. So obviously, you're going to state the obvious. We feed Saquon and stay with what we know and what got us here.
Yep.
Defensively, I just got to check to make sure Quinyon Mitchell is going to be ready and available. I'm not sure yet. I don't think it's came out yet. Rumor has it there's possibility that Brandon Graham might make an appearance. Yeah, because they asked him in the media, "Are you playing next game?" He said, "Just wait and see." Now, very unlikely he plays, but I just want to throw that out there. But yeah, we just feed Saquon, and again, I think this is the game. Kind of what I think Joe or Cody said earlier. This is the game we got to get AJ involved. I think we got to get that arm. Jalen Hurts got to work out that kink a little bit and just start to get AJ involved. But I think in this game, if we get AJ or Smitty involved in the passing game early, that opens it up even more for Saquon. Which again, he don't need a lot. But if you got that passing game going, there's nothing. Now, this is where I say there's nothing the Commanders can do because it's just unfair football at that point. Because then you worry about the run, you worry about the pass, and you worry about the dual threat quarterback. So again, there's not really much you can really key in if we get the passing game going early. Another thing will be our O-line. Again, like I said, with the Texans game, it's the Texans O-line versus the Chiefs D-line. I think that I'm going to use that same scenario here. Our O-line versus their D-line. I think that's a very key matchup. They have a pretty good run stop defense. So can our offense, do what they do and make those running lanes for Saquon? And then defensively, if we just again, it's not really much to say, but if we just keep doing what we're doing and causing these turnovers, again, Jalen Carter punching the ball out of Kyron Williams' head, fantastic. If we can contain, we're not going to stop, contain Jaden Daniels, and let's make him look like a rookie, then I think we'll be good there. And I think my last point, forgot. Yeah, if I remember, I'll come back to it. But those are my key points for the game. And yeah, it should be a fun one though. Like at the end of the day, it should be fun.
Well, before I move on to you, Cody, with this Washington run defense, listen, guys, all right, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. Washington's rush defense is 30th in yards. They are not good. They look cute because they got all these guys on the defensive line. They got Bobby Wagner. They got Frankie Louvu. That sounds good. They're not good. They against the Eagles. Last game, 211 yards allowed. Then 228 yards allowed. You're going to get 200 plus yards on these guys. All right. I appreciate your humbleness and, breaking it down. You're going to get 200 plus yards on these guys. These guys aren't good at stopping the run. They're number 3 in passing yards allowed. That's where it gets tricky because in the beginning of the season, they were bad and then they kept getting better and better and better. So I just want to put that out there. They only didn't allow more than 90 yards rushing twice, and that was to the Tennessee Titans and the New Orleans Saints without Alvin Kamara. So let's just stop saying
quarterback.
What rushing yards? Is Derek Carr a rusher? I'm confused. And I don't think he was playing, actually. It was at the end of the season. I think Rattler was the quarterback. So there goes both of your points. All right, Cody. You tried it, Joe. Damn it. Cody, tell me when it comes to the Washington at Philly, the X factor, who do you believe will be the game changer of this game?
So I think Jalen's really kind of onto something when he says about getting Jalen Hurts going will then open up for the offense. So I think that it will make Jalen the X factor, because if Jalen Hurts is not able to get going and they get behind, it's going to be a very crazy game. And I don't want to see that happen,
Yes.
because I think that could be a runaway. I want it to be a good game. So I do want to see Jalen Hurts get going, and hopefully they can incorporate Saquon throughout the game at the right times. That's what I think will be the X factor. Now, if Jalen Hurts it gets off to a bad start and they do try to pass first quarter a lot, then Jalen Hurts, I guess, became the non-factor. But I think it'll be on him.
Very good take. Because, yes, as we've seen, if you try to go throw for throw, at least in this playoff so far, with Jaden Daniels, they're capable of just cooking. And whoever gets the ball last, good luck to that team. That's whoever's most likely going to win that time. So, Joe, my question for you at the Washington and Philly matchup is the path to victory for both teams. I know I really wanted to put this on you because it's both division rivals. I think it'll make it that much sweeter. But path to victory for each team.
So with the Eagles, in my opinion, their wide receiving core is better than whatever they have on Washington secondary. You get that wide receiving core going early, then it makes everything easier for Saquon, because Saquon doesn't really need much to get going. Mm-hmm. But going forward, this wide receiving core needs to get going, because the first game against the Packers, it started getting ugly from the beginning. The defense did what it was supposed to do. The second game, it was a Saquon-led offense. Eventually, I know he's a all-worldly athlete, but eventually your body starts hurting and stuff like that. Sometimes, hey, let me take a little break, bro. Hey, AJ Brown, that's why you get paid the big bucks. Smitty, that's why you're looked at as the second best wide receiver two. I mean, the number one best wide receiver two in all of football. With the Commanders secondary, it doesn't look very good. But down the stretch, they've gotten a lot better. Dan Quinn, he's hung his hat defensively. Can he get this secondary to play up to standard? And I don't think so. But for me, offensively, the weapon that the Commanders need to focus on, try to get him going. He's been utilized very well in these playoff games, is Austin Eckler, a guy you can kind of move around joystick a little bit, throw him in the screen game, give him a little pitch here and there, and you let this offense start to get a little more free. Then you let Scary Terry get going. Zacchaeus has been coming out of nowhere, and then the other dude, Brown. This wide receiving core is young. I was kind of surprised when they let Jahan Dotson go to Philadelphia in the offseason. I was like, what are they doing? I'm like, Jahan Dotson was possibly going to be their wide receiver too. And, unfortunately in Philadelphia, they have a lot of guys there. So he's at the bottom of the barrel. But, this offense, I was kind of surprised how this wide receiving core has been playing down the stretch. But Austin Eckler has almost been looking like throwback Austin Eckler when he was with the Chargers, going crazy the past couple of years.
Okay. All right. Excuse me. Let me put this comment. Scruffy McMuffin 89. Beat the Skins. Do it, Eagles.
Look how he's for Eagles. He's being funny.
That's good. Good call. I think it's going to be a good matchup. Let's just see what happens on the field. Again, the only Washington fan I know and respect, Valdez family. Hey, win or loss, you had a good season. Philly's simple game plan is run the ball. I agree. Commanders couldn't stop Gibbs, 200-plus yards. The Detroit play calling did that. Agreed. They just stopped. They run it. They win. Agreed.
I agree with that. I agree 1,000%. I really think, again, I'm not looking at this game like it's not easy. None of these games are easy. I'm not trying to be like that cocky fan, like, oh, we're going to beat the Commanders. No, I'm again. I said this. I did not want to play the Commanders or the Rams. Those are the only two teams. I wanted to see the Lions. I definitely wanted to see the Vikings, and I wanted to see the Bucks because I wanted to rematch with the Bucks. I didn't believe in Sam Darnold inexperience in the playoffs.
Right on.
And then the Lions. I just wanted that smoke because they were talking crap all season. Then they were the better team. I didn't mind any of those, but the Rams, and I knew it from that last drive. I was like, if Matthew Stafford goes down and wins this game, I'm going to be pissed.
Plus the Commanders, a thing we also not really counting in. The Commanders are playing with zero pressure. No
Yep.
one thought,
There's no house money. Yeah.
the Eagles have expectations of winning this game.
Right.
They expect
Right.
to win it. The
Right.
Commanders, this is a free game to them, and this is a crazy surprise.
They're playing with house money all day. They've already overachieved, bro. No, if they lose this game, no one's gonna bat an eye. No one's gonna talk shit on. Like, bro,
Right.
they've won the season. They've already won. Now they're just out here freelancing at this point. Like,
Yep. 100%. Couldn't agree more. Now, predictions. Before we move on to the AFC Championship, let us do our predictions. I'll start her off, and then we'll do the normal order. Joe, Cody, Jalen. I'm predicting Washington to lose at Philly. I'm sorry. It's the third time's a charm, I guess. But I think it will be a competitive game to an extent. My main prediction is Philly's going to have a 225 plus rushing game against Washington. At the end, Philly's going to do some weird Philly things. Washington, Jaden Daniels is going to try to come back, and they'll lose by 8 to 10. Go ahead, Joe.
I think Philadelphia is going to win this game, but it's going to be a close game. Jalen Hurts kind of struggles a little bit to me. I don't know why, but I just feel like Saquon, this is where he ends up going crazy bonkers. I feel like he's going to have like 3 tutties for some reason, and he's going to have like 250 all-purpose yards, and I feel like they win like 27 to like 21 or something like that.
Cody, it's on you, dude.
Okay, so me, I didn't know who it was on. My bad. I'm gonna go with this. I think that the Commanders gonna upset again. I think that the Commanders about to make history. That question we had that earlier today about is this the best rookie season ever is about to be irrelevant. I just think that they're playing with the zero pressure and it matters. You see Jaden Daniels poise. And the moment is just top level, and that matters in these games. And I think if it comes down to it as a shootout, like we were just saying, you don't want to play the Commanders at the final possession game. They look crazy. So Jaden Daniels, I think, is going to do something nuts.
Yeah, not mad at that take at all, honestly. Of course, I'm going to go for my team. I feel like this is the point of the time of the year, even if your reasonings don't make sense. If you're a fan of the team, you can just pick your team. So I'm going with the Eagles for sure. I think we have – this is going to – again, I think this is the best defense that the Commanders have seen so far in the playoffs. They face the Bucks, and again, they faced the Lions, who, again – from the end of that shit, I said their defense needed to clean up when they got in a shootout with like the Bills and the Rams, or no, the Bills and someone else. So this will be the best defense they've seen. Now, again, Jaden Daniels playing phenomenal, not taking nothing away from him. But I just think, again, this is literally the same team we had 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, plus Saquon. I think we're just on a different mission, a different goal than what the Commanders are on right now. So I think we just got a point to prove at this point, and I think this is going to be our year. I think we can get past this game and we get back to the Super Bowl.
Better hope you don't play Buffalo. I'm just kidding. All right. I know you don't. I just want to say something. The Washington Philly game will look a lot like Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Philly wins comfortably 34-24.
I'm just saying, history's made all the time.
Oh, look at that
what I'm saying? I see it coming.
52-12 is crazy.
Well, hey, man, this guy won. He still calls him this Redskins, so he's already in one there.
Who is? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
I mean, any man calls himself Muffins. I mean, come on now.
Hey, it's McMuffin to you, right? I'm just kidding.
Hey, McMuffin, if you know any of us, comment which one of us you know in the chat.
Yeah, please, Scruffy McMuffin, how you found this, please tell us, because I love it. By the way, I love it. Milton is no longer a Pats fan; he's a Bills fan now. I'm going for Josh Allen, dude. It's a good story. I like the story. I'm definitely not going for Pat Mahomes. If the Eagles
going for the AFC side, man. I can't go for anybody here.
I can't go for the Eagles just because they beat us in a Super Bowl, dude. It pissed me off. It really
But
did.
y'all beat them in the Super Bowl too.
Yeah, but we should have beat them twice. All right, I'm being a little greedy. I don't care. We should have won that game. Underdogs with underdog mask, and we let them win. What's going on? No offense, Jalen. I'm sorry. You won, so we don't care. You don't care. All right. All right. Who said I was a man?
No, we're not gonna talk
Ah,
about this.
yeah.
No, we're avoiding this. Stop it. Stop it now.
Yo, I gotta find out who this is. Oh, that's funny. Let me just look that
What is
name
it?
up and see what happens.
Who said I was a man, White T?
Who said I was a man? All right. Well, it's one of these.
Anyways, what was the
All right,
next
you're
football
right.
question?
All right, let's move on to the AFC Championship game.
The real
Buffalo
game.
Bills. Wow. Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. Will this be the time that Josh Allen finally gets over the Mahomes hump? And why or why not? I'll start her off. When it comes to Buffalo going to Kansas City, I think out of all seasons, as crazy as it's going to sound, because again, going in this offseason, we said Buffalo has digressed. They lost all their weapons. They don't have the bodies to be a competent or competitive team in the AFC this year. And we were obviously all wrong. I don't know how it became this way, because on the offseason, I thought they got worse. This offensive line has played like a top 5, top 6 offensive line. I'd say top 5, because historically, it's been a historic offensive line as far as how they have protected Josh Allen. Going against Kansas City, Chris Jones, what's the defensive coordinators? Yes, he's playing great. Spags, obviously his game plan is going to be great. There is a weak point on the Buffalo Bills offensive line. I think it's Townsend. Yeah. So whatever that tackle's name is, I think they're going to attack that side for sure, because that's the weak side. And I guess we'll see about that. But I think Kansas City playing the way that they're playing, this might be because typically, again, Buffalo's team is much better. And last year, especially, Kansas City had the worst Kansas City team of all time, blah, blah, blah. Buffalo seems to have the worst Buffalo team as of late since they've been relevant. And I think it might switch. I'm not going to say predictions yet, but it might switch. I think Josh Allen has enough firepower. James Cook can start cooking if he wants, because the Kansas City defense is iffy as long as that offensive line works well. But matchup to look for, in my opinion, is going to be the Kansas City's run-stopping ability against James Cook and the running ability of Buffalo. Because if Buffalo can get the run game going, I think they can not easily like blow out, but easily win the game. Like, there is a easy path to victory against this Kansas City team. Now, move on to Joe, Cody, and Jalen. My question to you, Joe, the X factor. Who do you feel, or what is the X factor of this game?
So for Buffalo, they need to try to get Coop involved in this offense early. Offensively, their wide receiving core hasn't really played that up to par. There's not one guy who's been just making themselves take over. You got Mac Hollins, who's walking around barefooted and going crazy. Shakir has looked like a possible wide receiver one. Cooper, this is why you traded for him possibly, because McDuffie has looked, up and down. But other than him, secondary wise, they got the other cornerback back. I forgot what his name was.
He's good. He's good.
But it's going to be interesting to see if that wide receiving core for Buffalo can get going, and if they get going, they can possibly win this game. For Kansas City, man, to me, is Old Faithful, Old Reliable, in my opinion. Travis Kelce, you get him going, you make him the focal point that he's been for X amount of years in Kansas City, you win the game.
All right, so I'm going to give this to Cody, then right after to Jalen. The path to victory, Cody, give me a path of victory for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm glad you let me cook on this. The path of victory for the Chiefs will be Patrick Mahomes moving outside of the tackle box and up the field
That's funny.
and making plays for his team. That's what Patrick Mahomes does best. Now, rather it be with great running speed or sliding abilities, but yeah, seems to be their path to victory as of recently and what I've witnessed. So I think if they stick with that plan, they'll surely get there.
That was a eloquent way to say what you just said. All right, Jalen, pass to victory for Buffalo. If you're Buffalo,
Um, Josh Allen put the team on his back, like he's been doing. Shit. I mean, Buffalo's just such a weird team, man. They don't have a true
Yeah.
wide receiver one. I guess. Well, they do have James Cook though. And James Cook is nice. So,
yes.
Shakir got to be their one though, right?
For now, yes, but he's not a. Go ahead, Jalen. He's not.
yeah. I don't know. I really don't know for the Bills. Again, they're such a weird team. I just know Josh Allen has to play his heart out. You got to finally get past Pat if he can.
Yeah.
Again, if Josh just sticks to what he knows, just what he's been doing this season, because he has been playing like pretty phenomenal this season with turnovers. Like, don't cause too many turnovers. Don't do too much. Josh Allen, don't do too much. Just do what you've been doing. Use your legs when you need to. Stay poised in the pocket, and everything will be fine. So yeah, I think that's the key to victory there.
Okay. The last 4 playoff games for Josh Allen, he has yet to turn the ball over. So fingers
He's been
crossed.
good.
Fingers crossed. Let's see. This one. Hold on. Because Alex, when I asked Cody the path to victory for the Chiefs, he said the refs.
Essentially.
And the path to victory for the Bills, beat the refs. Brilliant. Brilliant way to put it, man. The only way the Bills can win is if Josh Allen pays off the ref crew. That's crazy, man.
It feels like that, right? That's
It
his
does feel
bad.
like that. It was. I mean, if it's anything like Houston, it was pretty freaking bad. And I think Houston's defense is much more talented than Buffalo's. So
Right.
we'll see. We'll see. And Bernard coming back for Buffalo and Milano, you could definitely see the difference on how the defense plays. So I will give them credit on that. How do they utilize them two for a Travis Kelce matchup? I don't know. I don't think either one is good for that. Go ahead.
Side question. Do y'all think they called those calls maybe just on Houston because we're dirty hitters and the whole hit earlier this year?
Payback.
Yeah. Do you think they'll do that to the Bills? You know what I mean?
So I mean, if you look at again that the stats that I have on the phone and then somewhere else, I don't know what paper I wrote it on, but the quarterbacks that get the most calls, the least calls, Josh Allen's actually in the top.
Yeah.
He's getting more favorable calls than a Patrick Mahomes. But again, it's like timely matters that it's different context.
Flopping
But
that.
I don't know. I don't think it's because of y'all's dirty player. It's not even y'all are dirty. It's just you had a dirty player, and it was dirty. It's all right. It's all good, man. But no, I don't think it's that. I just think, like everybody says, it's Kansas City, Taylor Swift, all of them. Once
Taylor
you see
Swift sold it.
what's her name? WNBA player, Caitlin Clark. You saw Caitlin Clark. Wow. He's part of the ops. Everybody. He is part. He's in cahoots with the Chiefs. This is all a plan to get us all. But
that's why I wore the shirt after I seen her in the booth.
that is funny, dude. Wow. Wow, you're something else. But after I saw Caitlin Clark, I said, yeah, NFL wants the Chiefs to just be the dynasty that nobody would ever see other than us. But everybody wants to be like Patriots.
Man, just let us get one. That's what we want.
Just get one.
Just one. They can have this one. Let us get next year or something. You can't 4-peat. That's unrealistic, right?
I think the 4-peat will not happen. The 3-peat, I do.
Yeah.
The 3-peat, I tell you, I'm going to be really upset because I've been holding on to this.
You're like, they never did the 3-peat.
They haven't did the 3-peat, so we're still there. No, we're still there. It's okay. Okay, now prediction time. I'll start her off, and then we'll go in the normal order. Joe first. With Joe second. Buffalo, Kansas City. I got Buffalo winning a nail biter instead of Kansas City getting the odds on the overtime. I got it going to overtime, and Josh Allen 5-yard rushing touchdown to win the game. Buffalo winning by 6. Go ahead, Joe.
So I got Kansas City Chiefs actually winning 30-28. Harrison Butker with the last second field goal. I'm like, it almost seems like the media, the script writers want this to happen, to cement Patrick Mahomes possibly as one of the greatest athletes of all time, not just greatest football players of all time, athletes of all time. Because now when I'm watching like these other media shows, they're not talking about like Tom Brady or stuff like that. They're talking with him in the sense of he is the Michael Jordan.
I second
And I'm like,
that.
hey, people hate dynasties, man. At the end of the day, people don't like it. People
Tell me about it.
Unless it's theirs.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Like people like parody. They like it for it's different people winning, not just one singular person or team.
I gotta say, this Chiefs dynasty is much different than ours. Just saying.
Well, I'm like, you got to think about it. Social media wasn't prevalent then. Could you imagine
That's fair.
if social media was prevalent during this era with Tom Brady?
That's fair. That's fair. Now, your prediction, Cody, then Jalen.
I got the Buffalo Bills winning 28 to like 24 or something. That's just because I want them to win, But
Like-
and realistically, if the rest show up,
Like as much as I want Josh Allen to win, I just feel like he's gonna be that guy that ends up
it
getting
does feel
screwed.
like that. We'll see. This game will tell for sure. If this game is anything like the Houston game, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. Fuck that.
It'll
You're
be
gonna watch it.
neutral. Yeah, you'll watch it. It'll be in the
all right,
neutral.
Shut up. I'm shut up.
Just cut the other part out. Go ahead, Jalen. Okay. All right.
I have the Buffalo Bills by 1,000. Okay,
By 1,000.
by 1,000.
Book it.
I don't think the Chiefs stand a chance.
Damn.
Patrick Mahomes is not
It's
who he
tough.
thought he was. I was kidding.
All right. You're
So,
in
no,
the bag.
So not by 1,000. All right.
I got the Bills. I'm gonna hang in there with the Bills. I picked them to beat the Ravens. Now I'm gonna pick them to beat the Chiefs here, but by like a point, right? I think all the Taylor Swift magic. I don't want to say any other like crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
So
with you.
all the Taylor Swift magic throughout the season that we've seen, like the block field goal at the end with the Broncos, the illegal shift that should have been a dead play, but somehow it's not, and then they get the ball against Oakland. Just all that stuff. I think something happens at the end of the game where it rolls in the Bills' favor, and the Bills win the game by like 1 point. And Pat Mahomes throws the biggest fit we've ever seen a grown man throw in the history of the NFL. And we
Bigger than Brady's.
and then we make T-shirts and
Hey.
they sell out. And I would buy 10 of them.
Hey, that I like how you brought the if that happens, Mahomes doing what he does. Remember when they lost and Mahomes like that was the biggest blown call, and he was like just so upset.
He was trying to Josh, and Josh was like, "What the fuck?"
He just said, "Good game, dude." Gee,
Yeah,
you saw how.
he's like, "That's the worst. That's the worst offensive illegal, whatever." He just kept crying to Josh. And Josh like, all right, bud.
All right, see you later, dude. Okay, I should have had a better game, but I mean, don't. When you saw how Lamar and Josh embraced each other, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but I'm more of a, Tom Brady, where a good game, I'm out. I'm not smiling at you that you beat us. What? Oh, dude. Well, I'm not mad at it. It's just, but I'm also not the Mahomes just crying about a call that you always get. Yeah, it's just that was crazy to me. But okay, we got 3 Bills here. Bills about to go 0-4 against the Chiefs, but they're used to it like the 0-4 Super Bowl record. That's what I'm scared of because that's historic. And yeah, we'll see. First Marco, now Joe from Cowboys to Chiefs bandwagon.
No. I'm a Caitlin Clark. I like Caitlin Clark.
Houston can't win a Super Bowl till they get their jerseys back. Oh, we're on a good.
What do we got to do?
Why?
I mean, we beat them every time they wear them.
Why are the Tennessee Titans throwbacks the Houston Oilers jerseys?
Dude, I'm not with
That
you.
makes
So-
no, that makes
So
no
the Houston
sense.
Oilers moved to Tennessee.
I know
So
the
that
story.
Sure, but
I
it's
know.
there's a team in Houston now.
There's a team that should
Right.
be their jersey. Like
it should be like how the Bobcats became the Charlotte Hornets,
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
Right.
The
right.
Pelicans don't wear the Hornets and shit. Yeah.
yeah, like that's weird. When I saw that, I was like, why do the Titans have the Houston Oilers? There's a team in Houston. Let them wear those for throwbacks. That doesn't make sense.
Kansas City refs 28, Buffalo Allens 26. At least you got it close. Super Bowl party at Jalen's. Pow pow. Got it.
All food on Jalen.
You know what's crazy? The Super Bowl. The only time I go to a Super Bowl party is when my team is not in it. If my team is in the Super Bowl, I'm at home by myself. I'm not talking to nobody.
Yeah, you gotta be
Dude.
locked in.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you, dude. I know some people can't understand.
I
So,
don't.
no.
My team in the Super Bowl. There's no visitors at my house. No.
The only time I was around people, and it was a beautiful one, was the Falcons Super Bowl. You know how many people were just poking fun at me while I'm watching the game? I said the game's not over. Not thinking that we're going to do anything, but I'm watching it and people are just making fun of me. I'm like, well, it's still a game. I'm going to watch the game. Why are you still watching the game? Like, just making fun of me.
I remember that too.
And after the game, oh, yeah, I let all of them have it. It was the funniest scene that you'll never see. But yeah, and that was the only time I was around people, and that's the last time because of that. Like, imagine if we lost, I would have been pissed off. I was getting really upset, very upset.
Yeah.
Those people that don't even watch football.
Right.
That's the worst. That's
Yeah.
the worst. When people don't watch football, then just start making fun. I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck?
What? Yeah. Why? What did I do to you? But yeah. Let's see. Let's put this. I hosted Super Bowl 49-52. We passed 2 of them, but man, 52 was a great game despite the loss. 52, that was against the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick, I got to
I
gripe.
hated that game.
Well, I hated it too. Okay.
I love
Well, I bet. What? All right. So I got one thing listen, it's history. Y'all won. Y'all have the Super Bowl ring. Do you remember at least the scoring of the game, Jalen?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all can't tell me, none of you, that I can't remember his name. The running back, Clement. Is it Clemens? He was inbounds on that touchdown. It was absolutely
Corey Clemens.
absurd. He was out of bounds. They replayed it and said, well, still a touchdown. It's not enough to return. Oh, gosh. We would have won. Just
He
saying.
scored.
Shut up, Jalen.
Listen, hold on. I'll go watch it. I'm gonna pull the clip up right now.
All right, please do. Please do. One foot is in, the other foot is out.
And let me unbiased. I have to
We're
watch.
7-time Super Bowl champions, the New England Patriots.
You know,
Brady has 8 championships.
I just knew that last drive Brady was about to do the comeback thing, and that little block was so fucking lucky.
That hurt.
I hated that block. I had money on that. I was so mad.
Even the Hail Mary, I mean, Gronk should have caught it, dude. Whatever. It's the past. Who cares? I care, actually.
All right,
That's
What was worse, that one or the Eli one?
Oh, Eli. Easy.
Yeah, Eli's the hardest, right? That shit was
The undefeated
crazy.
one was the worst one I've ever felt in my life. I was young, so I was very emotional, and I had to go to school the next day.
Oh, he clearly has 2 feet in.
All right, dude.
Hold on, wait. I'm hold on. They're about to show it back. Hold on.
He opening up old wounds now.
That Eli one.
Let's see.
Was crazy.
So he did first of all, the fact that he scored on a wheel route from the
wheel
back
route,
is
yeah.
insane. All right, hold on. Here we go.
Look at the second foot. Don't BS me and try to.
One. Oh, hold on. Wait, because you might be onto something.
It's on the line. That's all. It's close. It wasn't like egregious.
No, he's back.
Was that Super Bowl?
You said he was out of bounds. I don't know.
Right?
Wait, so when he first catches the ball, when I paused it as soon as he caught it, he already has 1 foot down.
Of course,
so
I agree.
So the next step is him in bounds. Like, it's literally clearly him in bounds. Then the
2
step
feet.
after that is him on the edge of the. Like, As soon as the ball touches his hand, I pause
So
it.
it's a decide of wherever possession was. When was possession? That first step or not?
Do it.
So, yeah,
Listen, go ahead.
I wish I could screen share with y'all so I can show
I
you.
know. That would be nice. But
Yeah.
so you think it was a catch by looking at it?
From what I'm looking at right here,
You thought he
what
was
I'm looking
gonna
at, like
switch?
he has possession right now. He has one foot down.
One
Then
foot.
Then his next step is inbounds, and the ball's not moving or nothing. So that's 2 feet.
So when he caught it, he had possession when he caught it, and he already had his foot down, right?
Yeah.
And then right after he puts the second foot down, you say that's inbounds.
Yeah, from what I'm looking at, yes. We gotta look at this together.
Yeah, so
We gotta look at this together. We gotta look at this together.
Damn it. Yeah, because I'm
What I'm
upset.
looking
Right
at, it looks like he's in. Joe, you looking at it?
The Corey Clement.
Yeah.
Corey Clement. There you go.
Yeah.
He had the nice, cool hair. Yeah, he was good for like 2 years.
Damn, Shea dropped 54%.
It didn't matter, dude. It's all right. Jose, whose side are you on? We lost by Melton, no complaining. That made a big deal, all right? Just saying. That really ticked me off. Okay.
So like you gotta
That's not gonna help me.
Yeah, so we can't see that. Wait, it's gonna be the next angle.
Yeah,
Angle.
They'll call it another they'll do
That shit was closed.
No, but look what I'm saying. So when he first catches it, he has a foot down in possession. Then the next foot is inbounds. So watch. Here we go.
Yeah, thank you.
Joe, you're gonna have to pause it. Terrible angle.
Yeah.
That shit
Look,
closed.
so 1, 2.
No, because I don't think he has possession.
He didn't
that
have
first
possession.
one.
That's what I meant.
He has to bring it
You
in.
know what? 1 right there.
He ain't brought it in yet. Now he
Yes, he
does.
did.
That's the one. That's the one.
2, yeah.
No, bro, he has possession.
I agree
You
with
said you're
Milton.
not gonna be biased.
That
You
shit
said
I'm
it.
not
closed.
being biased. That's the thing.
I'm like, regardless, Milton, y'all lost.
Either
the
way.
backup
Right,
quarterback.
either way. Hey, Joe, you watched your freaking mouth, dude. Come on, man. But yeah. But either way, we lost. But okay, all right. What's going? We're 1-1. So yeah, there's no. You just have the recency. You got me there. That's fair. Yeah. That one hurt just because 1, it was a backup, but then 2, we didn't start our top corner.
Yeah, Michael. Hey, you don't know how happy I was when
What?
y'all wasn't starting him. I was like, yeah, whatever we can take because we're not supposed to be here right now.
Right, dude. When they had the mask, I said, "Oh, they're getting aura and all this stupid stuff. What's going on now?"
Dog pound.
That was crazy. All right. Let's put this up and we'll finish it off. Nick Foles has more Super Bowl rings than Dak and Roma combined. Yikes! You think they're going to be in?
I'm like, they wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for Carson Wentz.
That's true. Carson Wentz was the
MVP.
unsung.
If he didn't get
They
hurt.
did that man dirty.
He's the greatest 13-game quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
Whoa.
13 games?
Because after that, he just fell off a cliff.
He was a better quarterback for 13 games in that year, Carson Wentz. He was phenomenal.
Then after that, fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
You remember? I mean, even what up, Richie?
What up, Richie?
Remember when? How many games was it when Nick Foles went on that crazy run? 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That was wild. I couldn't believe
that. That was like 7 games. We went like 7-0 at that time.
Yo, that was absurd. What
crazy.
is going on with Nick Foles right now, dude?
He has these crazy stints where he's the best quarterback we've ever seen, bro.
Yeah, because
the best. That's what they called him, BDN. So you can kind of see.
No, we ain't calling him that. You call
Oh,
him
I didn't talk about
BDM. What is that?
BDN.
BDM.
That's you don't want to know. Just don't even think about that. Just leave that alone.
Yeah,
All right.
Yes.
I want to kind of know. I really do. I really do. I'm interested. But the best QBRs of all time, he's like the top 4. To that season, it was so crazy.
Gonna look it up. What is
I'm
Nick
definitely
Foles'
gonna
nickname?
I'm definitely gonna look this up.
Just don't go to images.
Oh, I know. All right. It just hit me. All right, you dirty suckers. All right, fair enough. Got it. All right. Well, everybody that's still there, that's crazy, but thank you. That's our playoff talk. Anything else, I'm not liable for anything that these guys say. Okay. But so that's that part. Thank y'all for even watching along this long. Much appreciation. The people that were interacting with us. Huge shout out to you and everybody that's still there and anybody that watches this back. Like, share, and please subscribe to the YouTube.
You
Please.
got to.
Muffin, appreciate you, whoever you are.
He's gonna be the beautiful mystery. I don't think we'll
Who
ever
said
figure
it's a
out.
he? Stop.
You're
Well, I said whoever you are.
Ah.
I said whoever you are. I didn't say gender or whatever.
Want to shake his hand. Oh yeah, I remember that Chi-Town. He beat Tom with the Bears. Tom didn't want to shake his hand. I wouldn't either. It's like, who are you? Who are you? Even though he beat us, it's all right. That's all right. What would you rather have? Would you rather be a team like, I don't know what team has never made the Super Bowl? The
The
Vikings?
Texans.
No, well, y'all are new. I don't really count y'all until it gets later. Like, let's say we're 50 and y'all still haven't made it. Yeah, you're not going to get the pass anymore. But I can't think. But would you rather be a team that never made the Super Bowl? So obviously you never won. Or would you rather be a team like the Bills that made it 4 times and lost?
Oh, never been.
Never
been, yeah.
I'm with you.
Fuck losing 4 times. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd rather never been.
Was that the time? Yeah, I know it was when he wanted. Oh, that was 4 downs. That was against Chicago for sure. I think was Nick Foles the quarterback? I don't know.
Probably, I think he probably was.
I don't know. But y'all guys got anything?
I have
Before
one question for the
Go
panel.
ahead, dude. I'm here.
Let's hear it.
Okay, I was thinking about this, and I want to ask y'all. So when we're talking about divisions in the NFL, what division y'all consider the best and why?
Like of all time or this year?
No, just
Or when you
Oh.
hear the phrase "best division," is that what you mean?
we'll do for the past 10 years. I don't want to go too into the 19.
Right, of course.
We'll
Past
just do
10
like-
years,
Yeah, like the past 10 years.
I would say the AFC West, just off the top of my head.
Probably AFC North.
Yeah, I'm gonna go AFC North.
That's the Bengals.
Yeah.
Bengals, Steelers,
100%.
Ravens.
Okay.
What do you
Now,
think?
Here's why it's not the AFC North. Okay.
AFC.
Because when's the last time the Browns won that division?
Never.
But they've been in the playoffs though.
When's the last time they won
He's
division?
gonna say the NFC
like-
East.
Like
Oh.
19.
So
91, I think.
I'm not going to say the NFC East. I'm saying why I don't think it's them, because to me, when I think competitive in the division, like there's a team in there that's not winning at all. So to me, that's not competitive. Like you're guaranteed that one team's not going to be a factor every year, pretty much, in winning the division. So that's why I'm saying, like, I get they got a good team, but the Browns have not won it ever. So
Right.
when I'm thinking of all 4 teams actually competing for the division.
So
You know what I
Jose might be right then. Maybe the NFC West.
The NFC
We
West,
got-
that's the
We got
Rams.
Seattle Rams, San Francisco,
Cardinals.
and Cardinals. Cardinals are the only oddball, but they
I
were
think
good. For,
Cardinals.
Cardinals ain't won it in the last 10 years. So
yeah, not the 10
Yeah.
years, no. Because
Probably-
when they had Kurt Warner,
I don't think there's
20
a division that doesn't have one team.
2014, Carson Palmer was around there, so
I
possibly.
see, right.
Because Raiders, you got Bears in the NFC North. All those teams don't compete the last 10 years.
Yeah. That's why when I say AFC West, I'm like, okay, the Broncos won a chip. The Chargers were
have been-
good for, consistently for a while.
They ain't one
not-
division.
Yeah, not the last couple years
The
though.
Chiefs.
The Chiefs are the
and-
Chiefs, but the
and-
Raiders kind of suck and they weren't good. Maybe if you said last
Well, no,
20
they're
Yeah.
okay because that's
said
when
last
Derek
20
Carr
years.
was actually okay.
right.
With Crabtree and Cooper.
So who are you? Was it just a question, or were you Were you favoring somebody, Jalen?
I'm not favorite. No, I'm not favorite anyone. When I'm thinking of like the best division of football, I think we're so quick just to say AFC North, and I've just gotten into a habit where I'm like, I'm not going to give you that just because I get it. You got the Ravens, the Steelers, the Bengals. Like I get it, but the Browns are non-existent ever in that division. So I'm looking at the divisions that have all 4 teams. At least, again, you don't like I can say the NFC East hasn't had a repeat winner. That to me, that's competitive. That looks better, like for argument's sake of competitiveness in divisions. But I'm not gonna say it's the NFC East. I'm just wondering who y'all thought it was. But I'm not gonna just be the AFC North because they have the Ravens and the Steelers and the Bengals. Well, the Browns are non-existent, and they don't ever win the division. So when it comes to that, that's why I just have that argument.
It's the AFC South then. It's pretty easy.
Okay,
No,
no.
Yeah,
All right.
we all compete. You know what I mean?
no,
Definitely not.
All equally
They
as
all
bad.
It's about competition. We play each other really hard.
just the AFC. South.
Make the playoffs, and that's for the West.
But yeah, that's all I have.
Maybe the NFC West. I don't know. That's a good one.
I can see the NFC West with the 49ers.
But I mean, overall, the NFC East probably has the most championships, right?
No, the AFC West, I think.
The most championships because the Cowboys got one.
NFC East. I mean, I think I said NFC.
So y'all got 5. We got 1. The Commanders have 2, 3.
Oh, you talking about all time?
Yeah. The NFC East.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the last 10 years. My bad.
You did say last 10 years.
Yeah, last 10 years, I think the NFC we have one because of us.
It would be the AFC West, I think.
The Giants didn't win in 14 and up last 10 years.
Yeah, it would be the AFC West because I think the Broncos won it within the past 10 years, and then the Chiefs have won the past 3.
Yeah,
I mean, well, 1, 3, so 4.
So 4 or 10, 40% for one division is a lot.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what some divisions are just crazy.
Probably the worst division is probably the NFC South. But even when you say that, it isn't. Wouldn't say that.
The Bucks. I'm like the Bucks are one.
Yeah, I would say AFC South. No offense.
Yeah,
AFC South, right?
It's easy. Easy target. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. Though. It's true.
I would love to be in a weaker division. We'll be in the playoffs every year.
So now y'all. Well, nah. Washington looks good now.
I was like, Washington looks good. The Cowboys, they're going to get together eventually.
I don't
know. They're not going to win a championship, but they'll be competitive again at least.
Yeah.
It's just the Giants is now y'all's new bottom.
That's our Browns. Yeah, the Giants are our Browns.
Basically.
You think that it's going to continue? There's a reason they brought that GM back, huh?
Oh yes.
To make it even more bottom feeder.
I know, right? I don't know. They
made the worst move in probably NFL history. If Saquon gets the Super Bowl, that'd probably be the worst move in NFL history.
Oh yeah, probably
15 years don't count.
That's what I'm talking about. That's not what we're debating. I'm just kidding. That was good. AFC South has 0 teams. Super Bowl last 15 years. Sure. The Colts. Wait. Colts. No, that was 2004, 2005.
I don't know. No, yeah, he's right. 15 years.
Yeah, he's right. All right.
Well, somebody from the NFC East will be in the Super Bowl this year. Can't say that.
That's a fact.
Yeah, we will have a representative.
I don't. What year was Yeah.
Because Manning won it, and
when he lost to the Saints though.
Like 05 or 07.
That was like 08 or something. 07,
no, it was
right?
it was like 07, 08 because me and Jalen were in high school. I think that's when everybody all of a sudden became Saints fans.
Oh man,
that's
that was annoying. 15 years. That was annoying. That was an annoying little process.
Everybody was a Saints fan all of a sudden.
And everybody started having fake accents. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if the Colts would have never gave up on Manning, though, they would have went to more.
Everybody started saying stuff like Woody and stuff. I was like, what are you saying?
Oh, man. I said, go over. It's not that far of a drive. Go over there, dude. Jeez. I think the AFC East is just one team for the longest time. Division suck besides the Pats. Well, we made it look that way, okay?
That division was bad.
Hate to say it, but like even when people say it, it's like, okay, that's fine. But they had the best team.
Right, that'd be true though. Without that dynasty, that would definitely easily be the worst team. And then y'all all been in the league like 70 years. So
that's funny. That's a funny point, and you're right though. So that's fair. Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, I'm getting tired.
All right. You work tomorrow?
Yes.
I'm cutting it short now.
But fellas, thank y'all for joining. All of the takes were beautiful. Everybody did their part. I appreciate it. Next week we'll be back. We'll obviously discuss what happens in the AFC Championship. I'm going to think of something else to talk about. I'll figure out if y'all have any ideas. At any point, feel free. y'all have a say in this. This isn't Milton's debate. This is the people's debate. This is all of our show. So by any means, and also I heard y'all. I appreciate it, but stopping yourself from cursing. It's only me. I'm the one that doesn't curse, and y'all can do whatever the heck you want. I'm not gonna be a part of it. That's all, dude. Y'all. I'm not here to censor you guys unless it's something like what Cody wants to say. Cody has to censor himself.
Yeah, we gotta
sometimes.
say
That's it. He has to kind of be a little careful. But all you guys are fine. You want to use a curse word every now and again. It's all good. There's no hate speech. It's all that's it. 2010. I'm tired too. All right. Wait. Well, 2012. It's not the last 10. Yeah, fair enough. Hold on. One more. NFC West, Rams, Niners, Seahawks. Yeah. I mean, they've been there more than almost everybody, right?
So the
Last
NFC
10 years.
West. Yeah.
Yeah,
With the
that's
Cardinals-
fair.
with the
If you
Cardinals,
count
though.
appearances, yeah.
Yeah, Cardinals just kind of
Yeah, the
suck.
Cardinals aren't helping out at all.
And they're the oldest franchise. That really sucks.
Yeah, bro. They're like 70, something old.
Yo, that's pretty rough. They're one of the
Seahawks
oldest
really
franchises.
should have won too, but yeah, that's crazy to talk about.
Well,
Shout out Malcolm
thank-
Butler.
thank you. Yeah, you better recognize. All right, we got done a bad card, and we got we did some people a bad card. It's all right. It's fair. But we'll see. We'll be back next week. God bless to everybody, and we are